Bank of America, N.A.
Hi, it's Colin. I just discovered J-Lab headphones, and I am totally hooked. J-Lab imagines and delivers personal tech, headphones, earbuds, and office accessories that consumers want. Try the J-Buds Luxe over-ear headphones for noise-canceling travel. Discover your perfect pair of headphones. Look for the J-Lab Blue Box at Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and more. Or visit jlab.com.
My son Finn was born with congenital heart disease. He ended up spending about the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. During that time, he endured 10 surgeries, including an open heart surgery. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in my family's life. For 5 weeks when he was a baby, Finn lived in a Starlight Hero wagon. You could not understand the pure joy of having him go from a hospital bed into his favorite red wagon. Starlight doesn't just give items that hospitalized kids can use to keep themselves happy, but also memories, moments, and experiences which are so needed in times like these. They allow sick kids to just be kids for a little while. The support that Starlight provides to families like mine is an integral part to creating happiness at a time when there's very little to be found. Learn more about how Starlight Children's Foundation brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
Are you excited about being a new grandmother?
Of course I am. A little intimidated, too.
Why?
Taking care of a baby today is so different than when I had you.
But Mom, you did great with me.
Thanks, son. But I put you on your stomach to sleep.
Right. But now we know that babies should always be placed on their backs to sleep, for naps and at night, to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS.
You also slept with blankets and toys in your crib.
True. But now we know to keep everything out of the crib except for my sweet baby girl. No blankets, pillows, or other soft or loose items.
Daddy's going to teach Nana all the ways to keep you safe while you sleep. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
For more tips on safe sleep for babies, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. That's safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Morning is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Greetings and salutations on this sunny Tuesday morning. We welcome you in to Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, August 6th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their summer sales continue on all things from above-ground pools to patio furniture to hot tubs and much, much more. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Currently 76 degrees, but it's going to get a lot warmer, a lot toastier. 97, the projected high with high humidity, plenty of sunshine, on and on and on. The broken record with hot days, humid days, and no rain chances, or at least minimal chances. We're talking about 5%. Tonight, clear skies, 74 degrees for a low, and then we come right back at you tomorrow with a sunny day. However, the highs the rest of the week into the weekend only projected to be in the 80s. So I guess that's a win somehow, some way. Coming up on the program today at 8:05, we'll talk to the extremely successful head women's soccer coach at the University of Memphis, Brooks Monaghan, who's entering his 25th season. He's one win away from 300 for his career. What a remarkable career he's had. We'll talk to Brooks about the prospects for the upcoming season. Memphis coming off a third-round advancement in the NCAA tournament last year, but they lose one of their all-time greats and Maya Jones. We'll talk to Brooks about that. At 9:05, Mickey Barker in studio for our weekly golf visit. And then at 9:30, we'll talk some NBA, some Grizzlies with Matt Moore, NBA writer for the Action Network, and, of course, the great site on the internet, Hardwood Paroxysm. Again, that'll be at 9:30. We do have, yes, it's Tuesday, Humdinger's Trivia. That'll be coming your way at approximately 8:05. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sports 56. Make that the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. We'll update you on everything that's happening at the Summer Olympics. Tuesday action has been underway for quite some time now in Paris. We'll recap what happened, of course, on Monday with a little bit of controversy when it came down to the final event in gymnastics. Also, some NBA news to get to, some NFL news. The Chicago White Sox doing their thing once again. And the preseason coaches poll came out for college football. We will go over that on the program as well on the show today. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's happening?
Well, I've discovered here this morning, did not know that rock climbing was an event at the Olympics.
Nor did I.
But I've been watching this speed climbing deal. It's I had no idea. I'll be honest. But good for them. They get at that thing. They get at that wall fast. They're doing like 3 seconds.
Does George have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches up there ready for Tony?
I do not know.
Tony.
This is not a rock climber. What is this guy?
He's a male bimbo. He's a mimbo. Yeah, I did not know that rock climbing was
this is
part of the Olympics.
Yeah, these guys are not rock climbers.
No, they're
these
not.
Guys might run through the wall. They are not climbing the wall. These guys are not. They're not there to climb a wall. So, but yeah, they've been showing sport climbing all morning long, and good for the sport climbers out there. I have no idea if we're any good at it or not. I don't know what country dominates the sport climbing world. Maybe we are really good at it. I have no clue.
I would imagine countries with mountains, and the United States certainly is one of those. There are many that fit the bill. We are not running out of sports with rock climbing. There is still plenty of action to go the rest of this week at the Summer Games in Paris. Today already we can tell you that in men's basketball, Germany has eliminated Giannis Antetokounmpo and Greece in the men's quarters, so Germany moves on to the semifinals. Yesterday, good day for some of the local Olympians. Sam Kendricks, friend of the show from Ole Miss, won the silver in the pole vault. He had won the bronze in Tokyo 4 years earlier, and he takes it up a notch to the silver. But he was no match for the man known as Mondo. Mondo Duplantis wins the gold. Mondo Duplantis, born in Lafayette, Louisiana, who went to school with LSU, who learned to pole vault from his father, who was an athlete at LSU, but of course won gold for the Swedes. His mother is from Sweden. She is also a former LSU star, I think track and field, and more so the track. Met his father. They got married. They had Mondo, which is a nickname. And lo and behold, he wins the gold. But not only does he win the gold, in his third and final try, sets the world record. I've never been more excited about pole vaulting, although it's really cool when they have the big event here in Memphis and pole vaulting down Beale Street. And Sam Kendricks was a part of that. I don't know if Duplantis was, but Duplantis wins the gold, and congratulations to Sam Kendricks for the silver.
Yeah, Duplantis is like that stuff's insane, man. But yeah, it was dramatic after he missed on the first couple of attempts, and everybody was there. Like the place was packed. Everybody's cheering for him. It was
exciting, wasn't it?
It was cool to watch. Kendricks is standing there cheering him on. Everything else getting the crowd going for him. I've said this. I don't understand how they do it. I just don't. I can't comprehend pole vaulting. Like, it makes no sense to me how you do it. and to get as high as they get, and what Duplantis did yesterday, that blows my mind.
Well, it's scary because that pole is bending in half, and somehow you're able to get it back into position and then heave yourself over the bar. Tremendous athleticism. First of all, the speed that you need to rev it up to, then to be able to put the trust in that pole to leap over. It was fun watch. Again, that is why I go gaga over track and field, swimming, and gymnastics, because I don't watch it during the year. I watch it only in the Olympics. So every 4 years, I get more out of that than watching basketball. But I will still watch basketball, and I'm rooting for the United States to win gold, obviously, for both the men and the women, and they are the favorites. But getting back to Duplantis, the reason why he performs for Sweden, dual citizenship, with his mother being a Swede. However, the reason why is that the federation, the Olympic Federation, or whatever it's called in Sweden, who make the decisions, allowed him to be coached by his father. And I think his mother as well, because she's part of that whole team. And because they allowed that, he decided that he would pole vault for Sweden. Because you would think, wow, I mean, he would be pretty good for the United States. He's the world record holder. But he's not. He's doing it for Sweden, and he wins the gold. So that was fun.
Also, I love like when he missed the first couple attempts, like he goes over there and they watch the film. Like she immediately pulls up the film. She's got it on the iPad. They're watching the film and making decisions on what he needs to do for the next one and everything else. And I was like, that's hey, using the technology. Hey, come on over. Let's watch the film. Figure out your next try, what you need to do.
Speaking of Ole Miss athletes, mentioned Sam Kendricks. Mackenzie Long is into the 200-meter final. And I think that may be today, but I'm not 100% sure. She makes it in. She finished third in her heat, and the top two from each heat get in automatically. So she has to get in on time, and she got in on time. She's one of 3 American women who are in the 200-meter finals, or 200-meter finals, that's right. And Mackenzie Long, congratulations to her. So she'll have a shot at a medal to try to join her fellow Ole Miss Rebel, Sam Kendricks. Also, Noah Lyles, as expected, into the 200 finals for the men. Noah Lyles, one of the
semis.
Into the semifinals, one of the more flamboyant.
But he will be in the finals, and then he will win it, in all likelihood.
Right, and he's one of the more outgoing, flamboyant, energized athletes you'll ever see. And it's rubbed some people the wrong way. I think that's ridiculous. I think he's great. He's showing that individualism. It's an sport, but it's for a team, and he has not, poo-pooed the team. I mean, he is racing for the red, white, and blue, and he, I think, is an incredible athlete, and certainly the United States is happy to have that guy on their team. I love the confidence, the cocky confidence of Noah Lyles. There's nothing wrong with that. The U.S. women get the bronze in 3-on-3 basketball. Didn't look good early for them, but they're able to medal, which is fantastic. The same cannot be said about the men, as they faded and were 1-5 in their games, led by Jimmer Fredette. That's got to be fixed. Or as Dan Wolken from USA Today would say, and has said, get rid of the sport. It doesn't belong in the Olympics. I tend to agree with him. I don't think it's a fun sport at all. And then...
why do we want to get rid of sports? Who cares? If you don't like it, that's fine. But why not have more people have an opportunity to represent their country and win medals?
Well, you're limited to the amount of sports you can have. I mean, there's only so many events you can have in a 2.5 week time period. So if you have a sport that is not a popular sport, you are also saying to another group of athletes that we're not going to have your sport in the Olympics this particular year. There's no room. You can only have so many, so some sports are left out. And I guess that's his opinion about weeding out some of the sports that aren't as good. They're not as fun to watch. It's his opinion. It's only his opinion. But, yeah, there have been sports that have come and gone, and they're always looking to add, and they are adding. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. Always looking to add different, the whole BMX stuff with the bicycle racing, skateboarding, all the trampoline, all these things that have been added. I'm telling you, pickleball will be a sport soon. It will be a sport soon. But there are some sports, I couldn't care less. But like you said, it gives all athletes out there the chance to compete at the highest level. And for them, a lot of those sports, the Olympics is the highest level. It's not the highest level in basketball. It just isn't. It's not the highest level. It's the highest level for just about every other sport. Again, baseball in the Olympics, I couldn't care less. Could not care less about it. We've had it. It's been off and on. But that was just his opinion on 3-on-3 basketball. So today's going to be busy. And is the United States today in men's basketball?
Yes.
Okay. So they'll take on Brazil.
2:30 this afternoon.
And if they win, they advance to the semifinals. How about the women?
Those are tomorrow.
Those are tomorrow.
The men are all day today, so the women are
So every other day? So I'm assuming then it wraps up Sunday, correct? Is that the final day of competition?
I'm not sure exactly what day the finals are.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking I may be wrong about that, but probably today's Tuesday, Friday, Sunday for the final. Maybe that's the way it works out. Maybe it doesn't. What am I missing as far as a recap or what's happened this morning at the Olympics?
Well, it was interesting last night to actually watch and see the whole thing with the gymnastics.
Oh, yes.
And Jordan Childs.
Yes.
I feel terrible
those
for that.
Romanians got screwed.
That girl, when they showed Jordan Childs celebrating because they've changed her score. You see the other girl
with the flag right out there.
Flag up there celebrating, and just the look on her face, like, what the hell just happened? Why is she celebrating? Like, oh my God, I just feel awful. Like, I was like, man, that is just brutal to think that you've won this bronze medal. You're up there celebrating with your flag, and then no, you didn't. You're sorry.
All right.
You didn't win. Sorry, but good try. Great try, though. Happy fourth place.
Yeah, good try, good effort. Let me say this. It was an epic failure by the judges. In more ways than one, it was an epic failure. We haven't had a lot of controversy. There's always going to be some. We haven't had a lot of controversy when it comes to judges and scoring. We've had other controversy, but this was horrible. Horrible in many ways. Number one, not the Romanian girl that ended up third and then dropped the fourth, but the other Romanian girl in the floor exercise had the second hardest routine, second only to Simone Biles. She nails everything. They give her a deduction, a penalty for going out of bounds. She never went out of bounds. Now, was she getting as high as Biles, even Childs? I don't think so, but it was really good. It was flawless. She got penalized. I blame that on the judges, first of all. I mean, you have all the judges there. You have replay. You can see it. They missed it. Now, the coach for Romania also should be ashamed of herself because she knows that she didn't step out of bounds and didn't send an inquiry in, didn't argue it for her gymnast. So that's one. That's epic failure number one by the judges. Number two, you had Childs who got screwed over because her score should have been higher because they didn't realize that she was doing something, completing something that was part of her routine. They know the routine that's coming up. They know it already. And they missed it also in the preliminaries. So they messed up twice on Childs. So that's why I feel horrible for the Romanian who got screwed on a bronze, but did she get screwed because Childs was getting screwed as well with the score? So that's the second thing they screwed up. The third thing is this. I know Simone Biles had the highest degree of difficulty, okay? I just mentioned that the other Romanian had the second, and she was flawless. Simone Biles stepped out of bounds twice, and it wasn't even close. I mean, like way out of bounds. And she got the silver. I don't think she should have got the silver. I think she got the benefit of the doubt because of who she is. So while I'm happy for
she got 0.6 of a point deduction.
She should have got more. I mean,
that's the rule. Like, it's 0.6 of a point.
I still think a girl with the second highest degree of difficulty who is flawless and a girl with or woman who has the highest degree of difficulty but steps out of bounds twice, I'm sorry. The one whose second degree of difficulty, not stepping out of bounds, should have a better score. That's just my opinion. I think it was an epic failure of those judges. They screwed up big time. Unfortunately, it was the final event of gymnastics, which was fantastic for however long it was, 10 days. It was great. And the Americans did great. And we saw fantastic performances from a number of different women and a number of different countries. But that was a horrible way to end it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I am no judge of gymnastics. I don't know. I couldn't guess what an execution score would be on anything. I don't know. It is what it is. I ain't gonna judge that. I don't understand how they have the incorrect difficulty score to start the routine like they did on Jordan Chiles. That doesn't. I don't like. I don't. Again, I don't even understand how that's all figured out. So I have no clue. But it seems like you have what she's gonna do. She does it. I don't understand how that gets messed up, and the coach has to say, "Wait a second, you guys didn't have the proper starting score for her." That's bizarre to me, but I have no clue how that world works.
No, it's horrible, but also it's horrible to realize that you've penalized a young lady for stepping out of bounds when she never stepped out of bounds. And there's a whole bunch of judges. I don't know how many exactly, but there's like 2 rows of them. So it was bad. That was bad last night, and I did feel horrible for that young lady from Romania. I also felt bad for the other Romanian gymnast. And then you had, of course, the great Nadia Comaneci, who took to social media and said it was just absolutely unfair to pull that away from that young lady when she's got the bronze in her hand, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I get it's because Childs was the last performer. If she's anywhere else in the order, at least that they could have been corrected before the girls celebrating. It's just like that's the thing. Like the girls, because she's the last performer and they post the score, that girl believes she has the bronze medal.
Right.
And just, gosh, what a brutal way to just have that, just be up there celebrating and then just go, no, sorry. Give us that bronze back. Well, they had the situation yesterday, too, in the women's 5,000, where they had the 2 women, start elbowing
jostling,
each other.
yes.
And they disqualified the one, and then, an hour later, decided, no, she's not disqualified, and so she's reinstated, so she does get the silver medal, so there was somebody who thought they had the bronze in that one, who then had to get pushed back. Nope, sorry, we didn't disqualify her. Now, that again was the only reason she had gotten the bronze was because they originally disqualified the girl. It's not like she finished third and then suddenly had it swiped away from her. But she, so that was one it was an hour later that they finally decided that no, that actually should not be a disqualification. And so they reinstated her to get her silver medal. And by the way, the mixed triathlon relay deal. Did you watch the actual end of that?
I was watching it, but I got to be honest with you, I wasn't paying much attention.
Jonah Dillon didn't screw up. When they posted the times, originally, they had the U.S. as the bronze.
Oh, okay.
So they literally posted the time, which is absolutely amazing. It's one thing in a 100-yard dash that takes 7 seconds to run.
9 seconds, yeah.
In a triathlon with 4 different people, relay, it came down to a photo finish that was closer than the Noah Lyles finish. They had to look at the photo from every different angle to decide. They basically tied. It was unbelievable. They finally found one angle that showed the American was probably a centimeter, maybe, ahead of the other one. It's the idea that after an hour, and I don't know how long was it, hour and a half of racing, 4 different people, 3 different things you got to do, it comes down to a photo finish that is so close, they literally can't figure out who did it, except for the third angle that they looked at of the photo finish, and finally decided, now the Americans got the silver and you guys get bronze.
Man, would have been the worst thing in the world to say there was a tie was a dead heat. I mean, things like that happen. It happens in horse racing where they say, hey, man, we've looked at every angle. It's a dead heat. But I started to watch it, and I was waiting for Seth Ryder. Did they actually show him?
I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah.
I just caught the very end of it, and that's why I was like, I want to watch the finish of this to see what happened. And sure enough, yeah, they originally posted the times. They had them as I think when they posted them, they had them as like the exact, like what, because they went through into with the hundredths or whatever. It was the same time, but they had put it as, I don't know, whoever the country it was, that Germany, I think, got the gold. I don't remember who it was. And so they had America, U.S. as third, winning the bronze, and that was up there for a while.
Okay.
And then it was a little bit later, the announcers finally said, now they have reviewed it, and actually U.S. is getting the silver. And then they kept showing the different photos and the different angles of the photo, and the one that they finally decided that the U.S. girl was actually ahead of the other girl.
Well, I was surprised. I was sitting there watching all the coverage, getting ready to go to bed, and they said they're going to have highlights of that. And I was like, okay, I get to see this Seth Ryder, this Germantown guy. And they started out, and they were running. And I'm thinking, he was the first leg, I believe. And I assume they start with the swim. I don't know, but I don't.
Well, they all do all three.
Oh, they do all three, but I don't remember seeing him. And then I got bored, and then I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't see the controversy at the end. Yeah, but I thought that was yesterday when we talked about it, and I said they had won a bronze. You said no, they won a silver. I was like, I'm telling you, I read where they won a bronze. Poor Jonah, I threw him out there publicly here on the show because he did post that, and then later changed it, and there you go. That's the reason why. But going back to the. Was it the 1,500, or was it even a longer race where the girls were jostling?
It was the 5,000.
It was the 5,000. Yeah, it was a really long race. And it was like 3 Ethiopians, and there was 3 Kenyans, and then there was another girl came out of nowhere from the Netherlands. That's what it was, from the Netherlands. But at the beginning, they're like, first of all, how do you disqualify one? They both should have been disqualified, or neither disqualified, because the one girl starts elbowing the other one, and then the other one retaliated. Unless it's like basketball, you catch the retaliator. So, and then to judge it, and then to come back an hour later, I hate that stuff. Make a decision, stick to the decision, unless you have an epic screw up like you did last night with the floor exercise and judging, and the way they did not give Childs what she deserved, which unfortunately was at the expense of the one Romanian. But I digress. All right, when we come back, the White Sox tying the American League record for the longest losing streak with their sights set on the Phillies and the all-time longest losing streak. We'll talk about that. Also, we got more particulars, according to a report, on the Luke Kennard contract with the Memphis Grizzlies. We got some college football news to get into, including the coaches poll, which came out yesterday. It's all coming up as we continue on the program. One of our great sponsors, Shoot 360 Memphis. Yesterday, I was telling you that I went there on Friday, went to the new Collierville facility, and it is absolutely outstanding. Everything that I thought it was going to be, it's that and then some. From preps to pros, this is just a cool place to get your basketball on, but to become a better all-around basketball player, and in particular, a better shooter. Saw a number of high school kids out there working on their shot, maybe even some of the college kids that were out there, just using the modern analytics to become better basketball players. And as I have always said, since Shoot 360 Memphis came aboard, that if you have a son, a daughter, grandson, granddaughter, you're a coach of a team, you want them to work on their shot and improve their shot. Also, their passing drills and things of that nature. This is the place for you. It's the same system that Steph Curry uses. I'm not saying that your young son or daughter is going to become the next Steph Curry. But if it's good enough for Steph Curry, it should be good enough for anybody out there that plays the game of basketball. Again, they now have the location in Collierville. They have a location still in they have the location now in Cordova. That's where I went to. They have the original in Collierville. You can become a member at either one or both. They have transitioned to monthly memberships. So do yourself a favor. Give them a call at Shoot 360 Memphis, 901-316-5500. Ask them for a tour. They'll be kind enough to bring you around the facility and show you what they have to offer. And then you can go ahead and decide what you want to do. And I suggest, look, sign up at least for a month. see what you think, and then go on from there. But I'm telling you, you're going to fall in love with it. You could also go online to sign up. It's Shoot 360 Memphis. That's Shoot 360 Memphis online. It's where the preps and pros go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. For coming back in a moment, this is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Getaway Sports Talk. Best kept secret in town. Open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garden and the creators. SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Come up on 6 pool tables. Hold a spear in town. Grab a pool stick and get you some more bar. 100 chicken tenders. Daily happy hour running through 5 to 6 p.m. Already 1625. Getaway Sports Talk. 4632 Winchester.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The Links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about, and that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Memphis, the playoffs are back. Come see the PGA Tour's best compete for the trophy, the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 14th through 18th. Witness the drama as 70 players arrive in Memphis and only 50 move on. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A little bit heavier than it was a few minutes ago on Ostaby Highway southbound, getting up on that ramp there to I-40. Still not bad right now. I-40 east coming across the Hernando de Soto Bridge over from West Memphis as it starts to crank up just a bit in the last few minutes. 55 northbound up through South Haven coming in from DeSoto County. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub curbless shower conversion. For more information, log on to havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Australia and Serbia take the court in the next quarterfinal at the Olympic Games, trying to join Germany, which defeated Greece earlier today. We welcome you back, Greg, Eli, and Zach, Hour 1, Sports 56 Mornings. So last night, Eli, the announced attendance in Oakland, 4,971, watched the Oakland A's dismantle the Pale Hose from Chicago, 5-1, giving the Chicago White Sox, or handing the Chicago White Sox, their 21st straight loss, which ties the all-time American League mark set by the 1988 Baltimore Orioles. They are now 2 away from tying the Phillies, the 1961 Phillies, the year I was born, Phillies, and their all-time longest losing streak at 23. That's in the modern baseball world. Back in the 1400s, I think there was a 50-game losing streak. So there you go. The White Sox on the precipice of history.
Yeah. The way this could work out is actually quite funny. If they do not win a game in Oakland and they tie the record on Wednesday with their 23rd straight loss, they will then go home for a game Friday night against the Cubs.
Oh, jeez.
With a chance to break the record with Friday night, a post-game fireworks show planned at Guaranteed Rate Field.
It could be the disco demolition all over again.
They could have, theoretically, a fireworks show basically to celebrate breaking the all-time losing streak record of 24 when they hit number 24 on Friday night, which would be just absolutely amazing.
What is poor Dave Woodlotion going to do? His 2 best teams, his White Sox and his Cubs. Has he already given up on the White Sox? Has he already now disassociated the White Sox from being his 1B as opposed to his 1A with the Chicago Cubs?
Who knows? But that would be, I don't know, and I have no idea if the fans actually come out for fireworks shows at Guaranteed Rate Field or not, but they might have their biggest crowd of the year.
Right.
Because it's against the Cubs.
It's fireworks.
With a fireworks show to watch them possibly go for the record at number 24 in a row.
Now, I know you don't know the exact answer to this question, but do the North Siders, a lot of them go to the South Side to watch when the Cubs play the White Sox?
Oh, yeah.
So it's probably going to be a partisan crowd in favor of the Cubs.
If the Cubs are having a good year, it definitely would be. Now, with the Cubs not having a great year, I don't know that. I mean, there will be a lot there.
But when they want to root on,
but there is no
the record for the White Sox.
I mean, it's not like White Sox tickets are hard to get, so it's easier to get a ticket there, and probably a lot cheaper than to go watch the Cubs at Wrigley. So I'm sure that there will be a lot of people that will be there, but. Again, I don't know. Like at the beginning of the year when they've got fireworks night against the Cubs, that this might be the one game that White Sox fans actually really wanted to go to and buy tickets for. Little did they know that they could be going to witness history. I don't know what you could scout those tickets for with a chance to witness history, but they might not get there. They got 2 more chances in Oakland.
Go Oakland!
And I think Crochet pitches in this series. I don't think he actually pitches. It might not be till Saturday. They might break the record before Crochet would take them. I think they got some guy tonight making his major league debut, like everybody else on the team. So yeah, it's scheduling scheduling wise, they started the losing streak at the exact right time. They knew it. They knew, like, okay, if we start right now, 24 happens with the fireworks show Friday night in August. It'll be beautiful. We'll sell this place out for a chance for people to witness history against the Cubs.
Did you just happen to look ahead at the schedule?
No, somebody pointed that out. Somebody said that they had a fireworks show planned for Friday night. And
that is wild.
I didn't know who it was against even. I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's against the Cubs that they're playing on Friday night. And so yeah. Good luck to you, White Sox.
From the world of the NBA and the Grizzlies, Michael Scotto from Hoops Hype reporting that Luke Kennard's one-year deal with the Grizzlies is worth $9.25 million guaranteed. Now, of course, the number that first came out was $11 million, but if you do the math and follow people who are more in the know about the payroll of the Grizzlies, you know that it wasn't going to be 11 because that would put him into the tax bracket. But this, according to Scotto's report, puts the Grizzlies narrowly below the luxury tax. It's, again, $9.25 million guaranteed according to this report. The Grizzlies will never announce the contract numbers. They keep that, obviously, under the lid. But it could become $10.64 million if he hits some of these bonuses, but they're extremely high bonuses as far as the chance to reach them. It's going to take an awful lot to reach those bonuses, but they're there anyway. So it's $9.25 million guaranteed. Again, the Grizzlies go narrowly below the luxury tax. However, that's pending on the bonuses in Kennard's contract, in Desmond Bane's contract, and in Brandon Clark's contracts, according to this report.
Yeah, it's what Drew Hill said yesterday, that it would be less than 11 because they weren't going to go just barely over the luxury tax. That would make no sense,
right?
With this deal. But as he also said, like the luxury tax, whether you're paying a luxury tax or not is decided at the end of the year. So if guys are meeting these bonuses, you can make a move if you need to clear a little bit more salary, something like that, possibly to do it to get under the luxury tax. But they could kind of make those decisions during the season. But yes, going into the year with this contract, you aren't going to put yourself just barely over the luxury tax. That
makes
would
no
be
sense.
Dumb. You're going to keep yourself just under the luxury tax and see how things go from there and what you need to do, if anything, by the end of the season, if you still don't want to be a luxury tax paying team.
Yeah, it's a great advantage for organizations to know that they can do things, they can maneuver around having to be a luxury tax paying team by making some kind of moves at the end of the year. From the NFL, there's a lot going on with this Brandon Ayuk holdout in San Francisco. According to several reports out there today, there is a couple of there's a couple of trades, the framework for the trades that have been talked about already or discussed between the 49ers and several teams. Those teams that were named, the Cleveland Browns, the New England Patriots. But there could be a few other teams that jump into this Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes. Now, Ayuk basically has been handed the reins to become a free agent 1 year before he's entitled to. Now, he doesn't have all the benefits of being a true free agent, but he has now the permission to negotiate a contract with other teams. The question is, does he want to leave San Francisco despite the impasse as far as the contract negotiations are concerned, because San Francisco is certainly a serious candidate to win the Super Bowl. But Cleveland is a team on the rise. It all depends on Deshaun Watson. If that trade were to happen, Amari Cooper, according to reports, would probably head to San Francisco. Not sure what New England would be willing to offer or is willing to offer, but we could see something happen with Ayuk. If nothing happens, then it tells me again that Ayuk is, not that he's bluffing, but he would like to work it out in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think his first option is to get a new deal in San Francisco, but they're just not. They don't seem to be budging to be willing to do that, so that's why he's asked to get the hell out so he could go somewhere to get paid. He wants to get paid. Would he? I think want it in San Francisco? Yes, but it doesn't seem that's going to happen. So I need to go elsewhere so I can get paid.
Yeah, a lot of times in this day and age, the players, the star players, have the upper hand with negotiations with management or ownership. But in this case, it's not going to happen like that. I don't think San Francisco, they want to keep him, don't get me wrong, but they have a ton of weapons. And if they move him and he's fine with negotiating a new big-time deal with Cleveland, they get Amari Cooper on the back end, no harm, no foul for the San Francisco 49ers.
And Deebo Samuel once asked to be traded. And then he is still in San Francisco. They were able to eventually get something done with him. That could end up happening here if the 49ers decide to budge a little bit, or maybe he decides budge a little bit on what he wants as far as a deal goes. But
they're going to have to pay.
It doesn't seem like they are willing to pay him what he wants. And
right.
So he wants to go elsewhere.
But they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy soon. So you're paying McCaffrey, you're paying Deebo, you're paying Kittle. You're going to have to pay Purdy. I mean, there's only so much money to go around.
This time of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Go to biggreenegg.com or head to the Ace Hardware stores around town, Hamilton Fireplace as well. That's where you can find the Big Green Egg. See all the different sizes of the egg and pick out the size that's right for you, plus all the accessories, the egg accessories that go with it that you can check out and see. And all, if they've got any questions, they can answer those. Of course, again, at the website at biggreenegg.com, you can get all the details about the Big Green Egg, what makes it such a great grill, what makes it the best grill there is, with the lifetime warranty, everything else that you need to know. You can get that at biggreenegg.com. But it is the best grill out there, the Big Green Egg.
When we come back, the preseason coaches poll is out. We'll tell you about that if you missed it from yesterday, and also some very sad news from the world of college football. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 901-524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo price new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
If you're looking to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees, then Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, Arkansas is the place for you. At Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, you can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and is now available to everyone. A membership is $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar, all less than 15 minutes from downtown and midtown Memphis. Meadowbrook Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on and Cleveland clubs. If golf isn't for you, try the social membership for only $250 a month. And there's 2 levels of all-inclusive junior memberships, $20 to $29 for $200 a month and $30 to $34 for $250 a month. Call for your tee time today at Meadowbrook Country Club, 870-394-4186. Now semi-private Tuesday through Sunday. Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis, 870-394-4186.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Winton Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Now back to Sports 56 Morning on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Sad news from the world of college football. Steve Cragthorpe has passed away after battling Parkinson's. Former head coach at Louisville and Tulsa. Remember his battles with Memphis as the head coach of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. He coached in the 2005 AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. I think he was 59, if I'm not mistaken. Also, Seth Hennigan named one of the 50 preseason players on the, or one of the 50 players on the preseason Walter Camp watch list. So there you go, Eli, your favorite time of the year. Seth Hennigan will be on a number of different watch lists, preseason watch lists, and hopefully in the end, you never know. Could be one of those special years where Seth is not only on the finals list, but maybe even a chance to pull an upset and win one of these big-time awards. But the Walter Camp Award is given to the Player of the Year in college football. Preseason coaches poll released yesterday. Georgia, number 1. Ohio State 2, Oregon 3, Texas 4, Alabama 5, and then rounding out your top 10, you have Ole Miss at 6, Notre Dame 7, Michigan 8, Penn State 9, Florida State 10. Any surprises as far as the top 10, in your opinion?
No, not really. I mean, I guess Michigan getting a first-place vote, but there might be some coach who believes, like, if you're the national champion, you, until somebody beats you or whatever, you are still should be voted number 1. I don't know. But, the SEC and the Big Ten holding down the top 9 spots in the poll shows, again, where the dominance in college football lies.
The SEC,
except for Notre Dame, by the way, but no other conference with a team in the top 9 other than those two.
Right. The SEC has half of the top 16. The SEC also, if you include schools that received votes, which was Auburn, Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina from the SEC, 13 schools. Do I have that right? How many teams now in the SEC? 16, right?
16.
Yeah, 13 either in the top 25 or received votes. The only 3 that did not receive nary a vote: Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Arkansas. 2 schools, 3 technically, kind of in our region of the country. As far as Memphis is concerned, they got 44 votes. So if you stretched it out, the Tigers would be 30th in the coaches' poll. They are the top group of 5 school. Boise State right behind, though, 31st. They got 30 points. Others from the American Conference that received some points or votes: UTSA got 3 and Tulane got 2.
Yeah, no real surprise there. I think Memphis probably will be in most. You expect them to be either 1 or maybe 2. Boise State being the other possibility, as far as the highest ranked, receiving the most votes of the group of 5 schools going into the season. I think that will. I would guess that the AP poll will be similar and that they will be either the top or second of that group. But, again, these polls, this doesn't mean anything as far as trying to get to that college football playoff. But it is good. Again, the coaches showing the respect and not a surprise that the coaches would, with the fourth-year starting quarterback, that's going to resonate probably more with coaches than it does even with media. Like fourth-year starting quarterback's pretty rare in this whole thing. That's a pretty impressive thing to have.
What questions do you have if you look at the whole top 25? Like, which team or teams do you have the biggest question about? Whether they are going to be able to sustain these high, lofty expectations, or whether or not they're low and you think they have a chance to really make a strong run?
Well, Iowa at number 25. Now it's number 25, but I just still wonder about Iowa's offense. Like I'm always until Iowa actually shows the ability to score like a touchdown, I'm always going to question Iowa. It's just that's going to be. It's weird to see Kansas in the top 25. Certainly, Lance Leipold has done an unbelievable job there, and he has them, on the up, and they probably deserve to be in that top 25. But it's still weird, and you're always going to be like, okay, is this really possible at Kansas? I think Clemson. I don't know. Clemson again. The ACC is not very good, so they have a chance, but. I just wonder with him just refusing to get into the transfer portal world, is 14 too high for them, and can they sustain this?
It's funny you bring up Clemson because that's the one I'm staring at. He has been a staunch opponent about the transfer portal. Dude, it's here. It's not going anywhere. I don't understand it, Dabo. I don't get it. But I think the ACC, right behind Florida State, has a really good chance, I believe, to get a second team in the playoff. But Clemson, I like their quarterback, but like you said, have they done enough through other avenues, high school, junior college? Have they done enough to add to that team? Is Miami, they're always in there, and they always seem to disappoint, at least lately. But they've got a pretty good history. What about a North Carolina who's not in the top 25? Is there a surprise team? NC State is 22. Are they able to go through a solid ACC schedule with a loss? Because you start losing a couple, you're probably done as far as being a non-SEC or Big Ten team to get in as the second, third, fourth, whatever team from the other power conferences, meaning the Big 12 or the ACC. See, I see the Big 12 with a lot of cannibalism. I think Utah's the best team, and they were picked 13th. Doesn't mean they're going to win it. But I see Utah and Kansas State and Oklahoma State and Kansas, you mentioned, maybe newcomer Arizona, all knocking each other around. I think they're getting one team. They're getting the conference champion. Whoever wins that conference championship game is getting in, and that is it. But I think there's a second team from the ACC. But I don't know about Clemson. So I look at Clemson as the biggest mystery there. I also think Michigan's a little bit of a mystery because of all the players they lost. And I'm not even worried about the controversy now and the possibility Sharon Moore may be suspended for the first few games. I don't care about that. Harbaugh was suspended last year to start the season for, 4 games? Didn't matter. So I'm not worried about that, but they lost a lot of talent. And then there's somebody like USC. First year in the Big Ten, they lose Caleb Williams. Lincoln Riley's a good coach, but what do they have now offensively where they need to be? Because if you got the offense clicking, even against some of these great defenses in the Big Ten, you could outscore teams without a problem. Again, you're going up against the Iowas of the world, which are defensive-oriented teams. If you bring in a high-octane offense, I still like offense over defense. So that's another team I look at with USC and go, yeah, maybe, but probably not this first year.
If you're looking for a great piece of jewelry, go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds. They'll have an amazing selection to guarantee to find something that you will be perfect for you or that special someone that you are buying that piece of jewelry for. The selection is absolutely out of this world with all the top designers available. The selection of diamonds, absolutely out of this world, whether it be natural diamonds, whether it be lab-grown diamonds, whatever shape, whatever size, whatever budget you're looking for, they've got you taken care of at Genesis Diamonds. And they got a great staff to help you, folks that will help you pick out that perfect piece of jewelry, who will educate you on what you're looking for, what you should be looking for, what affects pricing, all of these other things that you probably have no idea about. They're not working on commissions. They're not there to pressure you into buying the most expensive thing. They're there to help you find that perfect piece of jewelry and make you a smarter shopper when it comes to buying jewelry. They're located at Poplar and Perkins Extended. That's where you'll find that amazing selection, whether it be a engagement ring or a wedding band or a pair of earrings or a necklace, maybe a pre-owned Rolex watch. Massive selection of those as well at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find the Case IH Farm All that's right for you.
Don't be surprised this week to see other jewelry store owners shopping at Genesis Diamonds. They'll be taking advantage of Genesis' most aggressive offer ever. All GIA diamond engagement rings marked down an extra 20% below Genesis everyday price.
That's right, the vault is open, and we're selling the finest handcrafted diamond rings at rock bottom prices. Now for a very limited time.
The GIA is the gold standard of diamond diamond, certifying accuracy and documented quality, so you can buy with confidence.
Every Genesis engagement ring is included in this event. Half carat up to 20 carat stones.
Shapes, curls, and bodies are red special cuts, pear shapes, and price prices, prices, extreme value price on a GIA. Purchase engagement ring. This selection is Genesis Diamonds, GIA Diamond Extended.
Save an extra 20% on this pair of precious diamond rings now for a limited time.
Exclusively at Genesis Diamonds.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing
Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving. Sports 56 traffic.
Reporting an accident over here involving some injuries. It's going to be on Lamar between Shelby and Tuggle. Again, that's got traffic tied up pretty good. Also, it's crash being cleared there. Danny Thomas at Alabama. They're trying to finish up that wreck down there in Tate County as you try to get up into DeSoto County on 55 northbound. Again, that's going to be down around Coldwater. That's had traffic limping along, trying to get northbound there on 55 for a while. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Check out their website at havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
.803 the time, hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you on this Tuesday, August 6th, 2024, broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's up to 79 degrees at 8:03, but it will get a lot warmer. 98, sunny, humid. Broken record from what we've had for, over a week now. No rain in the forecast tonight. Clear skies with a low of 74 degrees. Second hour of the program is brought to you each and every day by the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers. You need something of praise, just bring it over to James. James is a master jeweler. He has all the accolades, and he deserves them all. He's been in the jewelry business for a long, long time. He's won many awards. He's a diamondologist. He's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America, and he's a master jeweler. So I think that's the probably the top of the line right there. So you need something of praise, bring it into James. Remember, when you're looking for that special engagement ring, certainly look at a number of different jewelers. Make sure James Gaddis Jewelers is one of them. All their diamonds independently graded and certified. They understand there's a lot of competition, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. Whether you're looking for a $2,000 diamond ring, whether you're looking for a $75,000 diamond ring, whatever the case may be, head on over to James Gaddis Jewelers, again, in the heart of East Memphis. If you're looking for that special watch, custom-made jewelry, gemstones of all types, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants. They have one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry, and they're always adding to their collection. So basically, every time you go in there, you're going to find jewelry, see jewelry that you haven't seen before. They have experts to help you pick out those special engagement rings, wedding rings, personally designed wedding sets, plus 2 repair experts for all their fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing is available at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Australia, second quarter, Eli, all over Serbia.
Yep, Patty Mills is going off.
He's done that before. 46-26 Australia, again, trying to reach the semifinals in the Olympic men's basketball competition. The United States will face Brazil a little bit later on today. Well, speaking of today, tonight, in fact, the University of Memphis women's soccer team will have an exhibition game. They'll host Vanderbilt over at the track and soccer complex. They will open up the season on August 15th at home at 7 p.m. versus Alabama A&M. And you talk about a program that is established and has been now for quite some time. They have gone to the NCAA tournament now 6 straight years, including an unbelievable year last year in which they're coming off a 20-2 season, getting to the Sweet 16 for the second straight time, winning their 3rd straight American Conference Tournament title, one of 4 teams to win 20 games last year, and the mastermind behind this team who puts it all together is the head coach, Brooks Monaghan, who joins us now. Brooks, this is unreal. This is your 25th season at the helm? That's crazy. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
I guess that means we're all getting old, right?
Yes, sir, we are. Absolutely.
I had to do a double take on that. I know you've been there a long time and have had a lot of success, but 25 years, for those who don't know, Brooks is at 299 career wins, which is 26th among active Division I coaches. So that opener, look for win number 300. Be there to celebrate. Hopefully that will come to fruition. What are the challenges this year? You lose a lot of talent from last year, especially the superstar Maya Jones, but I would imagine the way it's gone with your program that you were able to go out there and bring in a lot of talent.
Yeah, the way I describe it is every year is a new year, right? A lot of years you're just making tweaks. You have graduated players, but then every so many years, I call it a new generation team. And that's what we're going through right now. And, we lost all our captains. Obviously, we lost a lot of talent. So, this year's team's a mixture of I don't want to say old, but experienced, but a lot of new faces this year. So, it's we're always going to keep the standard high. As a coach, you always want to be realistic. And, so far, I think we're 10 practices in because we've been doing 2-a-days. I feel pretty good. But, to be able to get to the level of what we've been able to do the last couple of years, we have a lot of work ahead of ourselves.
How much, when you're talking about new faces, is the transfer portal hitting you as well? Like, is that where you're getting some new faces, or is it still mainly trying to recruit the high school players who will come in and be in the program?
It's both. I mean, the portal for us, I think we've, since last January, we brought in 5 kids. But we have, I don't know what it is, 10 or 11 first-year players, So it is. It's a mixture of both for sure.
How hard has it been, and again, you're going into your 25th year, how hard has it been to establish the Memphis women's soccer program as, quite frankly, being now one of the powers in the country? What did it take, to be able to get yourself into that position when the resources aren't all there like they are at some of the bigger programs?
Yeah, you've got to be creative. Obviously, first and foremost with your recruiting. We try to unturn every rock. Unfortunately, with the way the world's gone and, the Power Four and all that, that's a big part of soccer, or women's soccer. And so unfortunately, we don't get too many kids growing up saying, hey, I want to be a Memphis Tiger when it comes to, and it is what it is, but you can't sit back and worry about it. You got to find a way. And it's being able to find a niche. As you guys know, we've had our niche in Canada. Now we've kind of developed a niche in Japan, and you just got to kind of stay in front of it because it's not easy. It's not easy, but you do what you got to do.
How hard or easy is it to find talent in Japan? Like, how recruiting that? What's that like?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit different. Obviously, you guys know I've done this for 25 years and are going into my 25th year, and back in the day, we had a couple of Japanese kids, and now they have become coaches over there, and so obviously we've developed, we've continued our relationship with those guys, so they've helped us, and we've made some other contacts there, just like we did in Canada back in the day. But that's we have our contacts in the States, right, that help us. But that's so important with recruiting is establishing contacts, different places in the world.
Brooks Monaghan, University of Memphis women's head soccer coach, joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. How has NIL affected women's soccer, and is it different when you're recruiting an American player as opposed to a foreign player when it comes to NIL?
Yeah, it is starting to affect, obviously, with the FedEx deal, which has been amazing, for our whole athletic department. Some of our kids have been able to really reap the benefits of that, and which is, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, right? Because, back in our days, guys, that wasn't a thing. So, but I think it's great for these kids to have these opportunities. You asked the question, what's the difference? Like, the domestic kids, right? Because taxes and all that, they're able to get it. And then half our team is international. So it gets a little tricky, but our university and the people working for us are finding ways, that our internationals can, also reap the benefits of this. So, but it's definitely different, guys. Obviously, women's soccer, it's not like what we read in the paper and these football kids are getting, but the trickle-down effect is happening, and it's definitely very eye-opening to, what you hear some of these other schools are able to provide. But we're in a good spot, and again, thanks to our friends FedEx.
So as you look at this year's team, again, with somebody like Maya Jones no longer there, who are a couple of the top players, those captains, the people that you're looking for to be your top players for this season?
Yeah. Momo Nakal, right? That's a very familiar name. One of our center mids. She's a senior. She's a captain. Sarah Hogg, she's our center back. We've named her captain. Izzy Monk, who you guys have seen a little bit, but so she's our third captain. But we have some returning players. Ann Valseto, another midfielder that's a senior, and then a couple freshmen. A local, Ashley Henderson, who had a great freshman year. Anna Hauer, a Canadian that had a freshman year. So we've got a good nucleus that have had a good amount of experience and it's been a part of understanding what it takes to win. So we've got that nucleus. It's just so important that all these newcomers follow those guys. If they follow those guys, it gives ourselves a chance.
Brooks Monaghan joining us on the program, University of Memphis women's head soccer coach. You have always looked to schedule hard for your team to go out there and find big-time non-conference opponents. Is it like it used to be where, Memphis is calling, yeah, that's fine. Well, now Memphis is really, really good. Is it harder to schedule some of the bigger programs, some of the better programs because of what you guys have turned into?
Yes and no, right? Because every coach is different. Every coach has their philosophy. So for some, it's gotten easier to schedule those games, and then some games that, maybe they're in the Power Four, so they don't want to take a risk of playing a Memphis that, on paper maybe should beat them. So it's again, yes and no.
What's the outlook as far as the conference is concerned this year?
Yeah, obviously we're losing SMU, right? SMU is the team that we played in the final. So they've actually the last 2 years we've played them in the final of the conference tournament. But they're still, South Florida, they're always one of the top teams in our league. They had a little bit of an off year, but I expect them to be back. And, when we made the switch from, and brought in all these, these Conference USA teams, for our sport, it really didn't drop. It pretty much stayed the same in my eyes, right? But, obviously just the difference from this year to last year is losing SMU. So it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, winning alone is not easy, guys. But, the competition in our league is very good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to expound on that with the league. Who are some of the other programs that we should be looking out for this season?
Yeah, I think Charlotte is very good. As I said, South Florida, UTSA, they won Conference USA the year before they came in. North Texas is usually a very, very strong team. So there's a handful, and I don't want to, take anything away from any of the other guys. I just think, at the end of the day, our league is good enough, honestly, where either team can win on the day, right? And, we've all been a part of sports, and then I'm not saying somebody can't beat somebody on any given day, but really that's the sign of a very good conference is when if you're being realistic, that any team can win on any given day, and I think that's the way our league is.
The U.S. women's team plays today against Germany in the Olympics. What do you think their chances are of winning the gold?
I think you're looking at a different team than what we saw in the World Cup. Obviously, there was disappointment in our performance in the World Cup. I think this new coach has brought something new. I think they're playing so much more as a team than they have in the last few years. So I think they have as good of a chance as anybody. But as you guys know, women's soccer is growing, in the world, and it's become more and more competitive. So, like I said, I think we have just as good of a chance, but, wouldn't be surprised if another country that's left was able to do it.
So in the Memphis area, when my daughter was small, she played soccer. My son played soccer. When I grew up, there was no soccer, let alone for the boys and for the girls. There just wasn't any soccer. How strong is junior soccer, and how strong is it particularly in Memphis?
Yeah, I mean, it's since I grew up playing here, I mean, you've got all these different leagues expanded. I mean, it's continuing to grow. In Memphis, man, I am so excited because back when I was playing, Memphis always won the state championships and went on to regionals and over the last, I would say, 10 years, it's Nashville and Knoxville have gotten more attention, and they've had clubs in the top leagues, and this is the first year that Memphis has been brought into those leagues on the men's side. And then next year, the women will join that league. It's called the ECNL, right? It's the top league across the country. So it's great to see that Memphis is kind of, getting back on the map. We've got some great coaches here in town and, some great club directors that I'm very good friends with. And I'm delighted to hear that they're finally, getting invited into this next league, which you guys know, I mean, to be, to continue to improve, develop, you need to be playing against the best. Sure, and now our local clubs here, two of the local clubs here in town will be able to do that. So very excited for them.
When you played Brooks, they had wooden goals, right?
That's right, and square balls.
So, again, it's the University of Memphis women's soccer team tonight in an exhibition against Vanderbilt, 6:30. Go over and see what they're all about. That'll be at the Track and Soccer Complex. And the home opener coming up rapidly, August 15th, so we're 9 days away, 7 p.m. They will begin that one against Alabama A&M with Coach Brooks Monaghan sitting at 299 career wins, trying to hit that 300 milestone on August 15th. Coach, as always, we appreciate it. Looking forward to what hopefully will be another great year for women's soccer at the University of Memphis.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you, Brooks. Take care. Well, I missed Humdinger's trivia at the start of the hour, but of course it's Tuesday, and that means Humdinger's trivia.
That's right. Of course, if it's Tuesday, it means it's Taco Tuesday over at Humdinger's with their chicken and fish tacos. Just $2 each all day, each and every Tuesday. Certainly you can take advantage of that, but even if you're not there on a Tuesday or not in the mood for the tacos, certainly plenty of great items on the menu for you to choose from some of their great appetizers like their crispy calamari or the crab cakes or the ahi tuna or maybe the wings or chicken wings that they've got over there. Of course, the grilled fish options among the great entrees that they've got. They've got some great sandwiches like their po' boys. You get the crispy chicken sandwich or the grilled chicken breast or the chicken Philly, the black bean burger or the piri-piri burger. All kinds of great items on the menu over at Humdinger's. Great items, great for catering. If you've got an event coming up, they could cater. They are certainly going to make a lot of folks very happy at any event you've got if you've got Humdinger's doing the catering. You can go to humdingersrestaurant.com, check out the entire menu, get details on catering, their fit, fresh meals, everything else that you need to know about Humdinger's. You can find there at humdingersrestaurant.com. You'll find them at Poplar and Massey to enjoy some of that delicious, healthy food that they've got for you over at Humdinger's. If you are the first to answer our trivia question correctly, well, then you'll win a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's, and you can answer via the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line by texting in at 901-360-8255. That's 360-8255. Text in those answers, and the first correct answer gets a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. If you've won in the last 30 days, you are not eligible to participate, and you only get one guess. So don't be answering multiple times, because even if you get it correct on We only accept your first answer. Here is today's question for you. If you've been watching Team USA basketball throughout the Olympics, you know that Kevin Durant is the Olympics all-time leading scorer for Team USA. That is on the men's side. Who is Team USA basketball's all-time women's leading scorer in Olympic play? Who has scored the most Olympic points for USA women's basketball? Text in again, 360-8255, 360-8255. First correct answer gets that $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's all-time leading scorer for the USA women's basketball in Olympic play.
These lists crack me up. This is a list, when we come back, I want to talk about, that has been compiled by a company called Jeff Bet. And it's a list of the NBA teams with the most well-mannered fans. Want to go over that list when we return. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it on. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the big green egg and accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
Maybe, like me, you're not a morning person. Maybe you, like me, like to sleep in. That's why Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar both serve breakfast until they close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no law that says you can't have the freshest, tastiest, all-around bestest breakfast in Memphis for lunch. Just head to either Sunrise location and proudly order yourself some eggs, some signature house-made square biscuits, or maybe even throw in a Bloody Mary. It's your breakfast. Have it when you want. And, of course, have it at Sunrise.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call Granger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to give back to communities across the state. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. They're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers and tournament participants as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield helps communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's been busy out here for the last 20, 30 minutes on a couple of accidents. Trying to clear up that one. Had some injuries over there at Lamar between Shelby and Tuggle. Also wrapping up a wreck, Danny Thomas at Alabama. It's finally moving a little bit better down there in Coldwater on 55 going northbound, coming out of Tate County, headed up towards DeSoto County. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:27 the time. United States, 79 total medals. China, 53. So cushion is 26 medals between first and second, which is good. Serbia has pulled within 12 at the half in their battle against Australia. Men's basketball, that is at halftime. That is a quarterfinal round matchup. The United States will go up against Brazil later this afternoon.
We do have correct answer in our Humdingers trivia. Folks, we're on top of this one. And, Zach, I will need a tiebreaker from you here, as we had a few folks who came in at the same time, immediately, basically, with the correct answer to the question. The question was, who is U.S. women's basketball's all-time leading scorer in the Olympics? It is not anybody on the current team. It is Lisa Leslie. 488 points. Kevin Durant actually today, in all likelihood, will pass her. He has 4 points. He needs 4 points to pass her to become the overall all-time leading scorer in U.S. Olympic history. She still has the lead slightly over him, but I'm going to guess that later today, Kevin Durant probably passes Lisa Leslie on that list. So we had 3 people tied who came in with at the same time with the correct answer. So, Zach, Hickory, Dickory, or Doc?
I'm sorry. Give me a second.
You need time to think about it. Like it's some scientific thing here.
Let's go with Hickory.
Going Hickory? Okay, Hickory. Sorry for those folks that were Dickory and Doc, but that's the way the game goes. We will be contacting our winner and letting you know how you'll get your $25 gift certificate to Humdingers.
All right, so again, there's a list for everything. And a company called JeffBet analyzed the 200 most popular posts and subsequent comments from each NBA team's subreddit to find out how often fans use 35 different profanities. I'm not going to go over all 35 that they name. So they've come up with a list of the NBA team's most well-mannered fans. Do you have a guess as to who the most well-mannered fans are? And I would argue this, by the way.
I have no idea.
The Utah Jazz, number 1, most mannered NBA fan base.
They got the biggest track record.
Don't they have the guy who was the bigot, the racist? Wasn't it a Utah Jazz fan that went at it with? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was like 2 to 3 different times.
Yes.
I know the one time you probably mentioned is the one with Russ.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, that was several years ago, right? It wasn't this last season, was it?
No.
And I'm not sure if this is just from last season, but swear words per 1,000 Reddit contributions. Utah Jazz 54.
Well, to be that dude wasn't doing it on Reddit. He was doing it at to his face.
He was doing it, yeah. But that's, again, still, I stick by it. It's like Utah, no. Not in my opinion. But again, they're using their system, and they came down with
they came up with the Jazz. Jazz fans were the least foul-mouthed. The team's fans coined only 54.34 profanities per 1,000 Reddit contributions, which is 43% below the average number of profanities for a team. Number 2, the Charlotte Hornets. Number 3, the San Antonio Spurs. Number 4, the Memphis Grizzlies at 64.88. I would argue this. Have you ever gone to a game with Eli Savoy? No, I'm kidding. 64.88, the Grizzlies, number 4. So, only 3 teams, according to this, and their fan bases, are more polite than the Memphis Grizzlies fan base. At the other end of the scale,
I can only imagine.
The Philadelphia 76ers fans are the most potty-mouthed, I'm reading this right from this report, at 115.32 profanities per 1,000 Reddit contributions, 31% higher than the average. The most common swear words used by Sixers supporters were the F word, the S word, and the F word with an ING. Knicks
the
fans.
S word, Simmons, as in Ben Simmons?
Yes. That has been a 4-letter word, even though there's more letters in that name. Knicks fans were found to be the second most explicit with 110.60 profanities per 1,000 Reddit contributions. That's 27% higher than the average for an NBA team. And number 3, as far as the most potty-mouthed, the Bucks fans. Sixers, Knicks, Bucks, Lakers, Heat in that order. But the Grizzlies fans, well-behaved.
Celtics weren't one of the... Celtics aren't down there?
Celtics were number 9.
Right.
Number 9. You know, the Bostonians behaving themselves somewhat. And they're still in the top 10 as far as most potty-mouthed. But they're number 9. But the Grizzlies, I don't know about that. Then again, you know, they did their research using Reddit. This is Jeff Bett, the company that put this together. So you got that going for yourself, Grizzlies fans,
good for
which
Jeff.
is nice.
Glad Jeff put this together. Glad Jeff took the time to put this together.
Jeff Bett. Yeah, he's a.
Who did he bet on?
I don't know. That's his last name, apparently. Jeff Bett. Good guy from Des Moines, I believe he is. So anyway, there you go. That's that study for what it's worth. We have these crazy studies.
That would make sense if he was from Des Moines, because he was probably on either Iowa State or Iowa football teams.
That's true. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this the other day, but for Memphis Tigers fans, they will celebrate the start of the fall sports season with a free fan fest. That'll be coming up on Friday, August 16th. So a week from this Friday, the event will run from 5:45 to 7:30 at FedEx Park, Avron Fogelman Field. Admission and parking are free for all fans. There'll be a lot of stuff going on, so mark it down on your calendar. Friday, August 16th. I also saw where some of the athletes from the University of Memphis, some of the football players, basketball players, probably some other sports as well, will actually be out at TPC Southwind for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, I believe on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. They'll sign autographs and do all that stuff.
Part of the FedEx deal.
And that'll be...
see them in a lot of different places.
Yeah, and that'll be back of the 14th, if I read that correctly.
Yeah, that's the FedEx employee tent. Is going to be is back there on number 14, right behind number 14 green. So I think they're going to be back there. And yeah, I don't know exactly what all is going to be involved, but yes, that's they are going to be with this FedEx NIL deal. Obviously, FedEx and the involvement in the golf tournament. Yes, there will be folks out there, but this is you see them obviously you're at Redbirds games, you see them at other places, and that's all part of the new NIL world because they can make money for these appearances.
No, I think it's fantastic. It's a win-win, right? The players certainly win because their bank account grows, but for fans of a particular team, in this case the University of Memphis or a particular school, you get to meet these players and find out a little bit more about these players before the season begins. Because normally you don't. I mean, you may meet a few of these players. You may see a few of these players at a store and say hello to them. But you now get to not only get autographs signed and take pictures, but you get to converse with these athletes and see them. I mean, physically see what they look like and become more familiar with them as you get ready to start the new campaign.
Well, the thing, a lot of these players, it's not like they're around for 4 years anymore. So you don't really get to chance to kind of develop any sort of relationship or see them or get a chance. So when they're only here for a year or two, whatever, it's nice to get an opportunity to see them and talk to them and said all that stuff. And great for them to get out into the public, get a chance to kind of be a part of the community, even though they're only here for a short period of time. In many of these cases, they get to get out there, meet some of those fans, things like that. So it's great for them too to get that opportunity.
Speaking of Memphis and Memphis football, they received a bunch of preseason honors from the College Football Network. The Tigers were highlighted with the CFN preseason AAC Coach of the Year, Ryan Silverfield, the CFN preseason American Quarterback Offensive Player of the Year, and honorable mention All-American Seth Hennigan, the CFN preseason AAC Wide Receiver of the Year, Rock Taylor, the CFN preseason American Conference Guard of the Year, Xavier Hill, the preseason AAC Kick Returner of the Year, Sutton Smith, and the entire offensive line being tabbed as the CFN preseason American Conference Offensive Line of the Year.
Wow, we're giving out preseason Offensive Line of the Year.
Why not?
How about that?
Here's the thing. We talk about it because it's out there. It's a story. And it's nice. It's nice to be recognized. It's nice to have accolades at any time, preseason, but really, more importantly, postseason. So this is all fine and dandy. And that's why Ryan Silverfield, when he met the media for the first time after practice one, was like, okay, that's kind of enough with the conversation about Memphis being picked to finish first in the conference and possibly being the team that represents the group of five in the first 12-team playoff. That's all fine and dandy, but talk is cheap. We say this every year for whatever team we're talking about, whether it be the Grizzlies or Tigers football or Tigers basketball or whatever the sport may be. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, I'm sure, at Oxford as well. Big expectations for the Rebels. Now they need to go out there, get it done. They had a great year last year. Memphis had a great football year last year as well. But now the stakes are even higher for both of them. And can they come through? Again, all the preseason accolades are nice. But it's what do you do when you're actually out there on the field? Do you perform where you're in that position to be able to look back and go, yeah, they were all right about those preseason honors? Because we showed them. We did what we were expected. It's almost like Noah Lyles. Talking the talk. You have to walk the walk. And he did in a photo finish and won the 100. Now we'll go in and see if he can win the 200. There's nothing wrong with being brash if you come through with the goods. If not, then you look at it and go, he's a blowhard. You know, he talks. Talks a good game. But if you talk the game and then can back it up, you're at the top of the Delta Pledge class.
Well, with this, for these college football players, like when you're on this watch list, people are watching you. You need to perform for those guys. They've got a lot of organizations watching you when you're on a watch list.
We know the committee members for the playoff selection committee. Man, they're watching. They're watching every game, every second.
Only certain players that they're told to watch. So we need to put teams on a watch list.
Right.
We need to tell them to watch Georgia.
So yesterday at a dual practice between the Giants and the Lions, things got heated, Eli, as they usually do in these dual practices. I still don't understand. Well, I do understand why they have dual practices, to go up against somebody else, measure your team on that, as opposed to just normal practice. And while you're not playing a game, and there are certainly restrictions, I assume they feel they get more out of the dual practices than they do out of the preseason games by virtue of who they play in these preseason games. We'll see what happens this week because Caleb Williams is expected to play. Jaden Daniels is expected to play. We'll see some of these big-time rooks. Marvin Harrison Jr. expected to play. But this situation with the Giants and the Lions, there was a confrontation between Lions defensive lineman Alim McNeil and Greg Van Roten, the center for the Giants. And Daniel Jones got involved. He came over, he shoved McNeil in the back, and that started a scrum on the field. So I understand where Daniel Jones is coming from, but it may not have been the smartest thing to do. He's trying to show his teammates, even though he's not a rookie, that I'm there for you. I'm part of this team. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. But then again, you go in there and get your hands all broken up in a fight, that's not doing your team any good. So I don't care. Even the rookies who are trying to show the veterans what they're made of, back out of there, man. Don't get involved in a scrum or a scuffle or any kind of fight and have a chance that your starting quarterback goes down. I bet you afterwards Brian Daboll went to Daniel Jones and said, "Are you an absolute idiot? What are you doing?" There's nothing to prove in those situations. And there's always going to be those scuffles. It's hot as hell. They're leaning on each other. They're battling out there. And we see it every summer.
Well, Daniel Jones probably watched the offseason Hard Knocks and realized how close he was to not being a Giant anymore.
Exactly.
Like they tried and tried and tried to find a different quarterback instead of him.
Right.
And realizes maybe I need to show some worth around here. Maybe they'll learn to like me. But yes, I would assume that. I mean, the reason they like these practices is because they can control, like, you can get your starters out there but not have your quarterback get hit because you can put the red jersey on him and he doesn't have to get hit. Whereas if you play him in a preseason game, you don't get to do that. They're going to get hit. They're going to get tackled just like everybody else. So they like using their starters in these things because there is the control factor of what happens and everything else, rather than in a game where you're just out there and you have to obviously play by the actual rules of football. Speaking of Hard Knocks, by the way, tonight is the first episode of the regular Hard Knocks, I guess, whatever you want to call it, the preseason Hard Knocks with the Bears. Tonight will be the first episode of that. The new, again, they've got the in-season, off-season training camp, the Hard Knocks training camp edition, I guess we'll call this one.
And to your former point about the quarterbacks, I'm glad that we haven't got to the point, but I think it may happen one day where they throw the red jersey on the quarterbacks and they don't hit the quarterbacks even in preseason games, the way it's going.
With these practices, these joint practices, like it's I think basically 100% there's going to be fights. And just I don't like it's
always
opposing team, like they don't like each other, or like
it's hot.
They're out there and it's practice, and there's going to be And again, when you're trying to control things, somebody's going to go a little too far. So it's always going to be like, oh, you're not supposed to hit him, and you put a hand on him or whatever, and that's going to make somebody else mad. Like, there is going to be fights pretty much every single time in the joint practices.
Yeah, you don't mind the big uglies.
Oh, there's fights on the there's fight in the one team practices. Within that team, there's always fights, let alone you bring another team into the mix. Now, yes, you're going to get fights.
But you don't mind so much when the big uglies are battling. When the quarterback gets involved, you're holding your breath.
Are the Giants. Giants might be thinking, well, if he gets hurt, not the worst thing.
Oh, their backup now is Drew Lock, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, they lose the first few games of the year.
If he gets hurt fighting, can we void that contract in some way, shape, or form? Is there any way we can get out of that Daniel Jones contract?
Nah, it's probably jumping out of airplanes and things of that nature. But Giants get out of the gate slowly. Those Giants fans, they'll be all over Daboll and the administration to make a change and get Drew Lock right in there.
Moving can be stressful, but folks, if you get the professionals to do it for you, to help you with that move, well, that makes it a lot easier on you. That is for sure. That's why you need to call the folks at Black Tie Moving. Whether you're moving across town or across country, wherever it is you are moving, new home, new office, whatever, talk to the folks at Black Tie, and they'll make sure that your stuff gets where it's going without any issues, taking all that stress and worry out of the process for you. 901-316-6196. That's 316-6196. That's the number. You can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to the folks at Black Tie. They'll work with you coming up with a plan for your move, fitting both your needs and your budget as well. And you'll get a no obligation quote up front so you know exactly what it's going to cost. Don't try and do it yourself with your asking your friends, all of that stuff. Get the professionals. Talk to Black Tie Moving. 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
All right, now that the White Sox have tied the American League record, modern day history of Major League Baseball, for the longest losing streak, and they are right on the precipice of becoming the all-time leader in losing streaks in a season, or the longest losing streak, because they are 2 away from the Phillies. Let's talk about losing streaks in other sports as well. Where do they stack up with what the White Sox are doing this season in Major League Baseball with other leagues and other teams? We'll do that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
The best golfers on the PGA Tour are coming to Memphis to kick off the FedEx Cup playoffs at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news. Our coverage from TPC Southwind and Sports 56 and 98.5 FM is brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Also sponsored by Sissy's Log Cabin, First National Bank, Monty Grisani's, Banyan Tree Realtors, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, and South Haven Supply.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So I'm looking up other long losing streaks in sports. We remember, I think, most of us remember, not everybody, Northwestern, how bad they were. They lost 34 straight games in college football. NCAA basketball, the Chicago State Lady Cougars, 2010-11. It was actually from the early 2010 and into the 11 season. No, sorry. It began in the 15-16 season and then culminated in the 17-18 season. Their losing streak was 59 straight games. You have the 76ers in the NBA. Has that been surpassed? It's 28. 76ers. I think that's the record. 2014-15. Now, this goes back to before the modern era of the NFL, but from 42 to 45, the Chicago Cardinals had a 29-game losing streak. WNBA, the Tulsa Shock. Are they still around? Does Tulsa still have a WNBA team? You know, Zach? 2011, they had a 20-game losing streak, as did the Indiana Fever in 2022. But they kind of turned things around with some woman named Caitlin Clark. Tulsa Shock, they're not a team anymore, are they?
I don't think so.
Interesting, Tulsa got
Tulsa,
a WNBA team. Yeah, Tulsa Shock, WNBA.
Detroit.
Is that what they did? They moved to Detroit? They were Tulsa.
You're talking about the WNBA team?
Yes.
Yeah,
They were the Tulsa Shock.
They probably moved them.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, though, that when you think about it, Tulsa had a
The
WNBA team.
NBA thing, whatever, the Pistons tied that this year.
Pistons tied it this year. Penguins and the Sabres in the NHL. Penguins 03-04 season. These are 18 games without a win. So not 18 straight losses, but Penguins in 03-04, they were 0-17-1. And then the Sabres in 2021, so not that long ago, they were 0-15-3. And then, of course, the longest losing streak. I remember that some guy named Homer Simpson kept betting on them because he thought they were due. But the Washington Generals lost 2,495 straight games to the same team, the Harlem Globetrotters. That was a long losing streak.
White Sox might get there.
The way it's going, they might get there.
And I'm a believer of them. I think they can do it.
I wonder how much money you'd be up if you've just bet against the White Sox all year long, just at the beginning of the year. Because, I mean, like last night, the A's, the A's are bad, and they were like over minus 200 to win that game last night. But if you started game one this year, like the White Sox would be terrible, and just bet every single game, made basically a $100 bet against them, how much money you would be up right now.
I don't know. I always think about those things like that, whether, if it's a negative thing, but also if you bet.
I actually thought about betting against them last night, but I'm like, no, because this will be the one they win. Like, I'm just like, I'm not now I can't do it. Because at some point you got to, like, you can't lose every single game. Like, I'm like, they're going to win one here somewhere along the line. So I was like, I'm not going to bet against them last night.
Would you be up? Now, you'd probably be down because the odds aren't great. Like, if you bet every game that Aaron Judge played in to hit a home run, let's say he ends up with 60 home runs this year. He's already up to 41. Would you be up or down money? Let's say you bet $5 on him every single game he played in. Now, he's missed some games, and there's games
I don't know how many
runs.
games he's hit home runs in and how many games he hasn't. So I don't know what the odds are for every game.
Right. The odds aren't going to be great, but it's still going to be positive money. It's going to be plus. It's going to be plus 185, maybe even plus 210. Just curious about that, but it goes along your lines, even though it's a negative thing. If you kept betting the White Sox to lose, they keep losing. I got to think you're making money. By the way, Premier League, for all you soccer fans out there, Norwich City had the longest losing streak, spanned 5 seasons from 2018 to 2022. Doesn't seem like a lot of losses that spans 5 seasons. 16 games. Doesn't make any sense. Had to play more than 16 games. They yo-yoed between the Premier League and then the second tier. So they were relegated and all that, so the streak wasn't continuous. But they had 16 games. But you remember Northwestern, right? As far as that
losing streak?
Yes.
No.
You don't remember that one? They had 4 winless seasons from 76 to 89, 3 one-win seasons in that span.
76 to 89. That's a lot more than 4 seasons.
No, they had 4 winless seasons from 76 to 1989. They're just talking about the history of Northwestern. And 3 one-win seasons in that span. From their 3rd game of 79 to their 4th game of the 82 season, they failed to record a single victory as they had the streak at 34. They broke the streak. Let me see. When the Wildcats lost their 29th, they had broken the record, and then they added to it.
At 5 years old, I was not paying any attention to Northwestern football.
Yeah, but you know history. And I would think that people remember the Northwestern teams being so bad. Below the FBS level, FCS Prairie View A&M holds an even more depressing record, losing an astounding. You want to guess how many straight they lost?
I can't remember what that streak got to. I don't know it was a ton, but I don't remember what it got to.
80 straight games, starting in 1989. The 1998 Panthers snapped that streak with just 15 scholarship players. Lost 80 straight. So again, the Chicago White Sox, I don't know if they'll get to 80. And they're playing the Oakland A's, and the A's beat them last night 5-1. But it's 2 more with Oakland. And then what? Let's see, 2 more. So today, Wednesday, then what, a travel day? Or a day off?
Yes, Friday against the Cubs.
And then Friday the Cubs.
Fireworks show.
Yeah. So can it come down to the all-time record Friday night against their crosstown rivals, fireworks night at the home of the White Sox? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, they do not. I don't believe. Let's me double check this. Yeah, Crochet, who's obviously their best hope.
Mm-hmm. You want to call it that?
He does not. I don't think he pitches the Friday. No, he does pitch the Friday game.
Oh, okay.
So he pitches the Friday game against the Cubs. With it, if it reaches that, so he would be pitching in the possible record breaker fire. So they could end up, if they get to 23, maybe they have the fireworks show to celebrate
end the streak,
ending the losing streak. I guess you can't do it because fans bought tickets, but man, if you're like the team, like if you do lose your 24 straight, that's hard to have fireworks after that game.
Yeah, the fireworks extravaganza has been canceled.
We will put out the fireworks when we finally win a game.
Yeah, we will give you a pair of tickets to a future game because of the inconvenience. By the way, closing in on the end of the third quarter, Serbia has roared back to take the lead over Australia in men's basketball. I guess Patty Mills got cold because apparently nobody else is hitting shots for Australia. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084. Go online to newroofmemphis.com. Locally owned and operated business. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month, same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket, whatever it takes to get the job done. Pinnacle does both residential and commercial roofing. So attention, all you business owners out there, property managers. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. This is obviously for homeowners as well. Get a $100 referral fee for all new roofs. Again, if you know somebody who needs a new roof, you refer Pinnacle. They use Pinnacle. You get $100 for that referral. They do work around the home like carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters. They can put up fencing and siding. They can install shingles, rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle. Quality work at a very reasonable price. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. Again, locally owned and operated, Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, 901-438-5084, or online at newroofmemphis.com. When we come back, we open up Hour 3 talking some golf with Mickey Barker. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining there or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and clean quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put in our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby. At Jason's Deli, locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
Memphis, the playoffs are back. Come see the PGA Tour's best compete for the trophy at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, August 14th through 18th. Witness the drama at 70 players and rides in Memphis, and only 50 move on. Tickets are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They were over there a few minutes ago still trying to mop up that accident at Danny Thomas right at Alabama. It did cause some confusion over there just a couple of minutes ago. Also wrapping up an accident. It's going to be there at 55 northbound just past Coldwater as you come up out of Tate County, working your way into DeSoto County. That's been a little bit sluggish down there on 55 going northbound. Weimer's Jewelry right here in Memphis specializes in bridal ring purchases, and they have since 1984. Stop by and see them today. Shop local at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. And once again, our Greg Gaston and Eli
Welcome back, everyone. 9:04 the time, hour 3. Here on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd. We're broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, it is where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. Got a busy third hour. Mickey Barker joins us in just a moment. A little bit later on, we'll talk NBA with Matt Moore. Third hour of the program brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More, located at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. That is their new warehouse. They also have stores in Little Rock and in Cleveland, Mississippi. That's where they began about 8 years ago. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started in their garage, and they have blossomed because of the work they do. It's because of the quality of work, the attention to detail, their pricing. They have earned the reputation of being one of the top flooring companies in the area. So if you're in the market for flooring, carpeting, all types, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, backsplashes for your kitchens and bathrooms, plantation shutters and blinds, ceramic and porcelain tiles, whatever it is, head on over to Jenkins Floors and More or give them a call. They will come to you. They'll give you a free estimate. They promise a 2-week turnaround on any job that you want them to do. Of course, if you are a homeowner that likes to do it yourself, you can get the material a lot cheaper at Jenkins and do it yourself. That goes for contractors as well. Give them a call at 662-469-9350. That's 662-469-9350. Open Monday through Saturday. Third-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. It's Jenkins Floors and More. And again, weather-wise today, you're looking at another hot day, 98 for a high humidity, another scorcher with no chance for precipitation. Tonight, clear skies with lows in the upper 70s. But the rest of the weekend looks like the highs will only be in the 80s. And I say only, but it'll still be very hot. It is time now to talk some golf with Mickey Barker.
It's time to hit the links and talk some golf. It's Mickey and friends. Mickey Barker, administrator of golf for the Bluff City, joins Greg and Eli each week. Now here's Mickey Barker with Greg and Eli.
He is the golf administrator for the city of Memphis, the Hall of Fame golfer from Lipscomb University. He is Mickey Barker, who you can follow on Twitter at MickeyBarker1. Good to see you. You look good. I hope you feel good after last week.
Yeah, back to normal. Had a week off last week and due to a little illness, but back better than ever this week.
We got a lot to talk about, and then a little bit later on in the segment, Whit Turnbow is going to join us, the president of the Tennessee Golf Foundation. Let me start, first of all, overseas in Paris. Oh, boy. For the first 2 rounds, I thought, here's Schauffele. He'll win the gold. He'll defend his championship. Now we got a really good battle for Player of the Year going into the FedEx Cup. And lo and behold, Scottie Scheffler gets on the horse, whacks it a couple of times, finishes first at the finish line, and now adds a gold medal at the Olympic Games.
Right. I think that put the Player of the Year debate to bed. Not that I thought the Olympics had a lot to do with the Player of the Year, but now there's no doubt.
What do you think of golf as an Olympic sport?
I think it's great to have it as an Olympic sport. I think we need to expand. We're only giving 1 medal to the men and 1 medal to the women, obviously gold, silver, and bronze. But I think we need to develop some mixed teams, some team events, figure out there's got to be a plan that they could do that. And maybe the individual title is a 2-day event, and then they have a mixed team in the middle, and then the women after that for their individual title. I think there's the way to expand it and make it more part of it.
See, I think, yeah, I was like, in some ways, I would like to see maybe some match play stuff mixed in, stuff like that. I think that would be kind of cool with all the different mixed things they do in swimming and other stuff to try and do something with the golf side of things would be cool.
Right. I mean, everybody's there for basically 2 weeks anyway. They can make their schedules every 4 years. I think they can make the schedule work. I just think they need to expand it a little bit. Obviously, this is only the third Olympics that we've had it, but I think it can be expanded. It's really having Scotty win. It really validates the gold medal a little bit, I think, and brings more attention to it.
Well, you mentioned team competition, and all of a sudden, Greg Norman's ears perked up.
Right.
All right. So you weren't here last week. We talked glowingly about Audubon, and we had a chance, as you know, and thank you for inviting us out there to play the course. Phenomenal. Everything I've heard from other people, phenomenal. You couldn't ask for, I would imagine, better response to the grand opening of a course.
Well, we definitely know people will speak with their feet. We've had, in the first 4 days, which was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we had over 1,000 rounds of golf played at Audubon.
Wow.
That's only on the 18-hole big course. We've had numerous rounds played on the short course. Our capacity for a day is 302 players. That is 4 players every 10 minutes from 7 to 7. Day 1, we had 286.
Wow.
We were full from 7 a.m. to 6:40. We only had those last few minutes that were open. We did over 250 rounds each of the days, so we were over 1,000 rounds for the 4 days.
And I would imagine that all of the response I've been getting has been positive. People love it.
Yeah, we have not had any complaints about the golf course whatsoever. We've had some, little things that, restroom problems and things that we're going to deal with the temporary setup that we have for a clubhouse. That's been a headache make for Bruno, but as far as people loving the golf course, the driving range, we're turning the lights on, have those on until 9:30 each night. The response has been fantastic.
What are they saying most specifically about the course?
The things that I'm hearing is that it's plenty difficult for your low handicappers. It challenges anybody. But then I've talked to some of the seniors that play a lot, and they said from the front tees it's very enjoyable. It's tough putting because there's some slopes to the greens, as you guys saw, but they can roll it up on every hole. You don't have any forced carries anywhere. You might not be able to get at the pin without carrying over a bunker or something, but as far as playability, it's fantastic.
And that's the thing too with the different tee boxes, because certainly, like, especially in that front nine, just off the bat there, it can, especially if you're playing all the way back, it'd be very challenging. And you got those couple of par threes there on the front, well over 200 yards if you're playing all the way back.
Right, playing around all of our other city courses, very seldom do you hit a long iron or a hybrid, or in some cases a 3-wood into a par 3. But we've got 3 par 3s that are over 200 yards from if you want to stretch it out to the back tee.
In comparison. So I played with a couple of young studs, and they're playing the back tees, which is 7,100 plus. I played the next at Gold and was 6,500 plus, and that's almost too long for me. Right. And compared to Galloway from the tips is just over 6, correct?
That's correct. Just over 6,000 yards, par 70. Now, Audubon is par 71, so you stretch it out just a little bit, but it really is. The length is there. With number 15, we can push it back to 580 yards at the back, or 480 yards at the back tee to an uphill drive. That's a strong golf hole.
It's interesting to see, like, to do, because obviously, like think about what the old hole was in this place, and then put your mind to what the new everything else is, and kind of like where was the green on this one and the changes and all that. But it's like that the area what used to be 8-9, which is now 11-12, like that area. That to me is like the biggest difference out there and the biggest improvement. I love the water around those holes, and I think that is a great area.
Yeah, turning the old number 8 to now the new number 11. Number 8 was probably the worst hole on the old golf course because we had a green that wasn't built correctly, and it was a driver and just a little chip sand wedge, and now to have a really demanding drive, and then you may have anywhere between 140 to 170 yards left into a thin green that's got water down.
You can't miss right.
Cannot miss right, and then when you miss left, you're
cars.
chipping right back toward that water.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
there's also cars down Park Avenue if you go really left.
Exactly.
As far as signing up, it's all online for August. You got to do everything online, right?
Correct. And for the time being, all of your tee times will be made online. MemphisPublicLinks.com. Click on the Audubon tab. It'll take you right to it. It's very easy. We also have a Memphis Public Links app. For Apple users, they can download the app, load your credit card on there. It's just a couple taps, and you can make your tee times. It's really easy.
And again, I think most people know by now, but if you don't, you go off of Cherry Avenue.
Cherry Road,
excuse me. The old clubhouse is, well, it's going to be something right at the turn.
It is the Turn Shack now after number
okay.
12, yes, and it's our maintenance compound. But if you know where the Botanic Garden is, it's right there across the street.
Okay. The women's MAC champion, Victoria Jackson, who's the coach at Christian Brothers University, 63-68 to win.
She was going to ask if you could come and play a match with her soon.
What?
No, what a great player. I mean, just phenomenal score, 63-68. Pretty strong.
Where's that at?
Galloway, Fox Meadows. I mean, and Galloway, we played the normal ladies tees there, so it was not overly long, but still in tournament format
if you're in tournaments shooting 62s and 63s and stuff like that, I don't care where it is, what it is, like that's impressive.
Yeah, it's really, really good scores. We had several ladies that shot both rounds in the 60s. Just strong play.
How many women did you have play?
We had 30 players, I believe, which is considerably more than we normally have.
Yeah, and hopefully it will continue to build.
That's correct.
For future years. So she was 10 under. Congratulations to Victoria Jackson. The Fox Meadows Championship is when?
It's coming up a week from Saturday. So want to get signed up for that. MemphisPublicLinks.com. You can go right on there and look on the tournaments page and get signed up for that.
So how many people are usually involved in Fox Meadows?
We usually have about 60 to 70 players. This year we may have more. All of our numbers are up. So we could have as many as 100 players.
Will you have an Audubon championship this
We will.
year?
Later in the year, we will.
Okay.
We'll have those dates later for you. But yeah, coming up, we're going to have – we feel like it's going to be really popular.
I would imagine.
And we'll set that up, as difficult as we can. So it'll really challenge everyone.
Without the obvious fairways and greens, for Fox Meadows, for people that haven't played or maybe have played one or two times, what is your suggestion on how you should attack Fox Meadows? I always find that to be a very tough, challenging golf course.
It is. It's a tough golf course. It's got some length as far as our courses go, with the exception of Audubon. It's got small greens that are typically, they look a little bit like your Pinehurst number 2 greens. They're kind of punch bowl turned upside down greens, and so you have to get the ball around the green and definitely work on your short game when you're heading to Fox Meadows, chipping and putting.
Just try and survive number 2. Number 2 at Fox Meadows, I think, is maybe one of the hardest holes on any of the city courses.
Right. If you feel like you got to make 9 on the first and second hole.
Yes.
It may be a 4 and a 5.
Yes.
Whatever combination you want to make.
Because I always feel like 2 feels more like the par 5 than number 1 does.
That's correct. Yeah, 2 turns around and comes right back in the prevailing wind uphill.
Yep, it's always into the wind.
It's a good combination of those 2 holes.
Yeah, I normally hit, for me, a good drive, and then I take out, I stole a 3-wood and hit it good and still am short.
Right, and it's a tough green. It's a really tough green to get the ball to hold because you're coming in with a long iron or a fairway wood or a hybrid or something like that. And so, it's just a great golf hole. No bunkers, not a lot of trees on it, but the length makes it tough.
Well, let's complete our foursome as we bring Whit Turnbow onto the program. He's the president of the Tennessee Golf Foundation. Hey, Whit, how are you?
Morning, boys. How we doing? I'm doing great.
Doing fantastic. Look, I know you're busy. You're always busy. We appreciate your time. For those who are listening to this segment and they're not sure exactly what it all entails, tell everybody about the Tennessee Golf Foundation, what you guys do.
Well, ultimately, Tennessee is very unique in the way that we're structured from a golf perspective, where you have an amateur body, which is the Tennessee Golf Association, and a professional body, which is the Tennessee PGA, and then a foundation in the middle of it all to really focus on the juniors and growing the game, right? And that's unique across the country, and quite frankly, the envy of this country to figure out how to make all that work. Because typically those organizations fight with each other, and typically they fight over money. But many years ago, some really smart people, much smarter than Mickey and I, figured out that this is how this needs to go. And it's gone very well for the last 30 years and still today. And there's proof in the pudding that what goes on here in Tennessee is the way, this is the bar for how this should go. So ultimately, the foundation focuses on growing the game. So our role is to make the game as affordable and as accessible as it can be. Because we all know not only is golf hard to play, as you guys have mentioned, it's hard to find, it's expensive, and that's what we fight every day, are those barriers. How do we knock those barriers down to make sure that any kid, any veteran, any adult that wants to get involved in the game can do that? And we do that in a variety of ways, right? You guys are familiar with the First Tee program. There's a very big national brand. We have 46 of those locations now statewide from Bristol to Memphis that we operate. We have a 2,000-member junior tour named after Brant Snedeker that'll play over 200 events in Tennessee from March to November. We'll have 500 camps and clinics just here at Golf House in Franklin, let alone the ones that happen throughout our state as well. So there's a myriad of ways that people get involved, and most notably, making that affordable is what it's about. And so I spend the bulk of my time out raising money, because that's where these private dollars go, or to make sure that we can keep the cost down. So I have to pass as little as I possibly can on to the kid and on to the family to be a part of this, and that's what makes this thing unique. So that's my elevator speech on how the Tennessee Golf Foundation works, but it's been a lot of fun. This will be my 6th year. I just started my 6th year in July, and taking over from Mr. Horton was quite an honor, and being able to go around and throughout our state and work with the golf professionals that like Mickey and the like that really are truly interested in seeing the game grow and leaving it better than we found it is a real honor for me.
Across the state, do you continue to see growth amongst the juniors, like the SNEDS tour? Like, how many kids are we talking about involved in that tour?
There are 2,000 members of the SNEDS tour, and it goes up every single year. And there I played that tour as a kid. I'm not even going to tell you how many years ago it was. It was a long time. And the first year they did it, there were 6 events that year. And this year we'll play over 200 on that tour. And we could play 300, and it's still not enough. But the reason it works is, as I mentioned, if you have a kid that plays the game, and especially if he plays in a competitive setting like that, you take a kid to a 2-day event on most of these junior tours that roam the country, you're a $350, $400 entry fee in before you ever hit a shot. Where on the SNEDS tour, you're paying $60, $80 maybe, and if you can't pay that, you let somebody know we scholarship it, right? In no fashion will we ever turn anybody away. But throughout our programming statewide every year, it's 40,000 kids will participate in this programming in some way. So it's a large group of kids, and again, we're not under the illusion that we're producing tour players or anything like that. We're after handing the gift of knowing how to play the game to some young man or some young lady, so that really for me the goal is for their boss one day or whatever to walk down the hall and knock on the door and go, "Hey, Sally, you know how to play golf, don't you?" "Yes, sir." And that she gets 5 great hours with the boss on the golf course, and I know the good that comes out of that. We all know the good that comes from that. And to be able to hand that gift that I got, that Mickey got, that lots of us got, of being able to know the game, know how to play the game, know the etiquette of the game, the intrinsic things that come along with the game. Golfers, for the most part, asterisk, are, honest, high-integrity people that are great citizens. And that's really what we're trying to do at the end of the day. And, yeah, there's going to be another tour player come through here. His name's Blades Brown, by the way. But there'll be another one come, but that's not the goal. The goal is to create great people and great experiences and set this, which, as we all know, society desperately needs.
Well, you hear about golf, or the guy that comes behind the man, like at Alabama, the guy that comes behind Saban. Well, Witt is the guy that came behind the man, but he's
become the man.
He is the man. Yeah, he's filling the shoes very, very well. Mr. Horton's very proud of him, and we're all lucky to be working with Witt. But Witt, we're so excited to the partnership that the city of Memphis has with the Tennessee Golf Foundation with the First Tee. We're looking toward moving home to Audubon. At that new location, and can you talk about our partnership just a little bit?
Yeah, no, I tell people all the time, fellas, if I could clone Mickey Barker and take him all over the state, I would certainly do that. He's such a gift to Memphis and that community, and what he's done around those golf courses and those facilities needs to be copied, not just statewide but nationwide, and what's going on down there. And so we're thrilled to be able to partner with the city and make this clubhouse at Audubon a real thing. And we've always needed, all the golf is headquartered here in Franklin at Golf House, Tennessee, and one of the goals that we've had for many years is to have a home for golf in every municipality that we have: Memphis, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Bristol, the whole bit.
And we will have a home here in Memphis. It will be basically Golf House West Tennessee eventually someday.
Right.
So
we're going to have a home there in Memphis to be part of that Audubon clubhouse. And the city's been so good coming along with us in this partnership. And so we've got, quite a task ahead of us to get out there and raise the money. We got to get this thing built appropriately and correctly, and all the things we need in it. And that golf course, as you guys have been talking about, is marvelous, and there's going to be a state championship played on that thing one day. You mark my word there.
We got confirmation yesterday that we're going to have next fall. We'll have our first Division I men's championship.
That's great.
At
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. It really
awesome.
Well,
that's awesome. That's one of many, but we're excited about digging in there with the city and making this thing happen here in a few years and making that clubhouse something that for the world to come see how this is supposed to go.
Well, you guys have done an outstanding job, obviously here in Memphis, but all throughout the state. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, fellas. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Whit.
Take care. Whit Turnbow, he's the president of the Tennessee Golf Foundation. Again, tremendous job. Big shoes, as you mentioned, but he is filling them admirably. Mickey, as always, thank you so much. We'll talk next week.
Thanks. See you guys.
That is Mickey Barker. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at MickeyBarker1. When we come back, we're talking NBA with Matt Moore. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo, and if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their product. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by James Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Heck of a game between Serbia and Australia. It looks like they're going to overtime, tied at 82. Speaking of basketball, American style. The United States today will take on Brazil in the quarterfinals at the Summer Games. And here to talk a little bit about that, but also about everything that's going on in the off season as we get ready for another NBA season starting up sometime in October, is our friend Matt Moore. He's the NBA writer for the Action Network, who you can follow on Twitter at HP Basketball. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Look, I know it's impossible to compare this team to the Dream Team, to the Redeem Team, but we always try to do so. I haven't been enamored with this team. I don't know why, but what is your thoughts on this Olympic team, the United States Olympic team, as opposed to others?
Yeah, I think the kind of way to think of it is that I think their floor is a lot lower than maybe the 2008 team. I don't want to compare them to Dream Team because it's just impossible with, one, the guys on that team, and two, where international competition was. If you look at 2008, there were games where USA had a battle, especially the Spain game. So, they had a battle in those games. I think the floor for this team is quite a bit lower, where if a team were to get just supernova hot and play really well, I think Team USA could get caught. But I also think the ceiling is just about as high as that 2018, where when they play well together, they play amazing. Particularly when, not to find a point on it, but when Joel Embiid's not on the floor, they play pretty awesome. Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis together, that combo really works. Durant, obviously, the way that Durant just fits and makes sense here as kind of that Olympic mellow type of, hey, all you got to do is hit shots. And Katie's like, no problem. That's what I'm one of the best in the world at. LeBron still being this awesome, I think, is obviously such a huge testament to what is an endless list of his accomplishments and his legacy. And then Steph just really being able to be a factor but stay out of the way, I think is pretty great. So I think that overall, this team, especially in those second units, can just absolutely run teams off the floor. The starters, I think, can play even with a lot of teams. I don't think that they're necessarily invulnerable. So they've got to be careful. They can't get too confident, but they still should win gold.
With Embiid, what do you think it is? He's out of shape. What do you think is it not the international game doesn't suit him well? What's your take on him?
Yeah, I don't want to be too critical just because I think that international, I kind of started to get to the point where there are guys that are amazing in Europe and struggle in the NBA, and there are players that were really good in the NBA that later went on to struggle in Europe. It's just it's a very different type of ball. It's just very different. Now, the fact that Embiid does seem to be really hampered by the lack of NBA-type officiating that's not a great look. It's not an awesome look for him that basically if he can't grift fouls, he's not nearly as impactful. But at the same time, I think that when you look back at the history of the big man in the Olympics, a lot of it has been traditional big man stuff. Mm-hmm. Hey, pick and roll. Yep. Hey, need you to roll to the basket. Hey, offensive rebounds. Dominate with your athleticism. And that's not Embiid's game. Yeah. He's a jump shooter at this point. He's a pick and pop jump shooter who can beat over some smaller guys, but he's never been a dominant rebounder. It's never been really his game. And so I just don't think it's a good fit for him, especially this Team USA in particular is more built to switch things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he can't really do that at all. So it's just a bad fit for him. I don't think it's a sign of anything about what's going to happen with him when he gets into the season. He's going to be the same player he is every year, which is an MVP candidate with huge injury concerns. But I just think that this really isn't the game for him, which is why we've seen Anthony Davis take more and more reps.
All right, one more thing from me about the Olympics, and again, just asking for your opinion here. In Los Angeles, which players from this team are playing for Team USA?
Ooh, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum. I'll say Bam Adebayo, but that one's going to be, I think, kind of borderline.
Yeah.
Steph will be gone, KD will be gone, LeBron will be gone, and B won't be able to do it. I think it gets kind of dicey. That we're going to see a lot of changeover, and this is. Yeah. I think also that question speaks more to a question everybody kind of has about the league, which is hey, what happens when LeBron's gone? When LeBron and Steph in particular are gone, along with KD, what does this next generation look like? Because there hasn't been anyone to really kind of fill that gap, right? And I think there have been guys that we thought maybe would, and Ja, I think, is in that category to put himself back in that category if he can get things right. But I do think there's a lot of question marks about kind of what the future of the NBA is, and in particular American players. That's why I think there's so much pressure on Anthony Edwards to kind of step in and be that guy, because he's the guy that everyone kind of looks at as the guy that's capable of becoming kind of the face of the league in that respect.
Do you, again, a lot of it probably depends more off the court than anything, but if he doesn't get any trouble off the court, do you believe Ja will be on the 2028 team?
A lot of it's political, right? I think the Nike connection helps, if we're going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to go through 3 years where there's no concerns. He needs to illustrate that he turned a corner in terms of his maturity, and that there are no question marks with him. Because Team USA it's very complicated in that there's a lot of politics. Because you say like, well, being there and being a part of that team for a long period of time is what really matters. And you go like, well, Jason Tatum's been there and he got benched in one game. And then there's other factors where it's like, well, Embiid hasn't been there and he started. So it really is a lot of like political stuff that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, like the first step for Ja just has to be stay healthy, stay out of trouble. And then if that happens, like his game is going to speak for itself. And yeah, I think he's got a chance of being on that squad.
Matt Moore from the Action Network joining us here on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. You can follow him on Twitter at HP Basketball. Okay, pull out the crystal ball. You know pretty much the Grizzlies roster. Let's just get crazy and assume they stay relatively healthy, which we shouldn't after last year. But right now, preseason, where would you pencil them in? Like fifth best team in the West, sixth, fourth, seventh?
So the problem with them is you have to basically take these extremes because of I can't just pencil them in for they're going to be right back where they were 2 years ago.
Right.
I can't do that because the roster is so much different. Like the team's different. Like what if the changes that Jenkins is making to the offense don't carry through? What if they don't work? Right? And there's discomfort and there's discontent in the locker room. Jaren's a different player than he was 2 years ago. He's a better player. Spain's a better player than he was 2 years ago. I don't know where Ja's going to be at when he comes back after having not played basketball basically for 2 years. So there's so much that you don't know. The key is their ceiling is like the 1 seed and 55 wins. If we don't have a year like last year where like multiple teams won 57, they could very easily win the Western Conference and be the number 1 seed. The floor is, if they're healthy, it's probably like 46, probably in that kind of range. And so that tells you like a 10-game differential is really how wide that window is for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we kind of take the average of those results, I think probably 51 and like a top 3 seed is pretty reasonable. I think that's like a good place to kind of slot them. I would have them somewhere in that range, depending on health and depending on all these factors. I would have them somewhere between probably 5th and 3rd, based off of the hierarchy. I still think this team is going to be really, really good. I think we're going to see a lot of things. I think last year actually was really helpful in a lot of ways for developing guys like Gigi and getting these guys integrated and reshaping the bench and getting guys a year off. But the key here is that the variance is very wide for the range of outcomes for Memphis next season.
So you obviously look at stuff from the betting perspective with the Action Network. Would you, right now, you would bet them over 47.5?
I would bet them over 47.5 if I could guarantee health. But that's
exactly
that's the issue here, right?
Good luck.
It's not just Ja. It's that look, Jaren played more games last season, and he's still always kind of going to be an injury concern. Where's Marcus Smart at this point? Right? Is he going to come in fully healthy and be able to play all year? That to me is a question mark. So the health, I think, is the biggest reason to kind of stay away from it. But I do think that 47.5 is mostly a number that's built off of trying to take a middle between last year's disaster and the 2 years prior, really, massive success. And that's probably not fair. That even though I said, you can't just guarantee they're going to be back there, the odds are better that they are way closer to that team they were 2 years ago and better than they are that they're going to be closer to last year's team. So I think the under doesn't have almost any upside versus the over, I think, has quite a bit.
Who do you think in the West improved and who do you think takes a step back?
Denver definitely took a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope after losing Bruce Brown. Russell Westbrook comes with pluses and minuses, but the bigger thing is just they're going to start Christian Brown, and I'm just not sure that he can be the starter that he needs. So if he's not able to be that guy, and they could really kind of struggle here. Jamal Murray has looked awful in Olympic play. He still doesn't look healthy, and when they get done, he's going to have a month before training camp starts. That's just a disaster. Jokic is still battling right now. We'll see how this game ends up with Australia. He's going to be, exhausted too after so much basketball. So there's those type of questions. The Wolves are about the same. They're pretty much in the same spot that they were.
Mm-hmm.
The Thunder are going to be way better, which is terrifying because they were number one in the West. But they just, if they're healthy, the Thunder are going to be the number one seed, and I don't know that anybody's close to them. I have them projected well above 60 wins. That's just like where they're at with internal development plus adding Caruso and Hartenstein. And then you kind of look, the Pelicans are an interesting one. If they could pull off a Brandon Ingram trade, I actually think that they could be really, really good. I think the Mavericks will be better from a regular season perspective, but injuries, they're going to be even more susceptible on that end, which were a problem for them last year. So there's a lot of this kind of variance here. The Clippers are another team that I think you can just kind of pencil out of an actual top 6 playoff spot. They're not going to be in it. But I think the Lakers will probably be better, even though LeBron and AD played so much last year. I still think that having a healthier roster overall will help them. It's going to be interesting in the West, where I don't know that these teams are all juggernauts, but I just think it's going to be a lot of these teams have very high upside and very low downside.
Yeah, it seems like that kind of group of like you said, like when you throw Sacramento in there and New Orleans and they're in Dallas and they're in the Grizzlies in there and the Lakers, like there's that it could sort itself. You feel like Oklahoma City's pretty darn good, and then you want how that all these other teams kind of sort themselves out could go a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, you look also like, is Houston ready to take that step up? Is San Antonio got enough with Wemby leading the way? I mean, there are so many scenarios that could happen. Let me ask you this though, Matt: of the teams in the West that you consider relatively young teams, who do you feel has got the best chance in the next 2-3 years to reach the NBA Finals? Is it Oklahoma City?
I think it's Oklahoma City. I mean, I just think when you look at the coaching, so much of it in the playoffs is about, can you solve problems, right? If you face something that makes you uncomfortable, can you adjust and play a different style, a different lineup to counter it? Because the teams that are just like, nope, we are who we are, those are the teams that eventually will run into somebody who buries them.
Yep.
And that happened with the Wolves, who were, quite honestly, probably the best team in the West last year. I think the Wolves were the best team top to bottom in the Western Conference last season, but they had no answer when they faced Dallas. That was just a matchup they couldn't beat. And you say, like, well, Dallas beat Oklahoma City. Dallas beat Oklahoma City with shot variance. Like, it was a crazy sequence of guys that are not great shooters becoming Steph Curry, and the Thunder shooters who were great being in their first playoffs and missing some shots. They've got that experience now. Their ability to play small, big, whatever they need to is really pivotal. And that's one of the questions I have about Memphis with Zach Edey is I'm just like, okay, how does this look like? Yes, they can go small with Jaren if they have to. He's a rookie. But I'm just a little bit worried about the versatility of how they can put together lineups if they need to problem solve. And Oklahoma City is the one team I can look at and go, I think they have an answer for just about anything they're going to run into.
So Serbia ends up winning that game in overtime. So if the U.S. wins today, that's who they will play once again. Do you see it? Do you see who could challenge? Who's the best team to challenge Team USA? Is it Canada?
No, I think it's Germany.
Is it? Okay.
It's been wild to me to see people like glossing over Germany, who won gold at FIBA. Like that to me is the best team. They've consistently been the most complete roster. They play a style where they can defend at a high level. They have playmakers like Franz Wagner and Dennis Schroeder, and they take a lot of threes. So you've got shot variance, versatility, athleticism, and defense. That to me is kind of the best combo. Canada's problem is like they have all the talent in the world, but they're wildly inconsistent game to game. Like they just are not consistent offensively, where they have these droughts where they just simply cannot score. And the defense also has like long periods where they kind of run out of gas as well. So I don't trust Canada. I think that Germany really is going to be in the gold medal game versus Team USA. I think they have the best shot of being able to take out Team USA. It will still be a massive upset.
You mean a team with Dylan Brooks has a wild variance on the offensive end? That's weird to me.
What are you talking about? He's Mr. Consistent. One final question, Matt. Did anybody in the East, I know the Knicks, you mentioned Hartenstein going to Oklahoma City. Sixers got Paul George. Did anybody do something, in your opinion, significant to really challenge Boston?
No. I still think Boston's got to be considered the number one team there. I don't trust Milwaukee with the defense and with Doc Rivers. That's really the problem in the East is you look at it up and down, and it's either the teams with the coaches that I trust don't have the health or roster to be able to compete. Like, I think the Sixers could definitely be a great team, but Paul George is up there, and Embiid is always going to be a question mark with the injury. You just can't be on the floor fully healthy in the playoffs, and that's a real problem for them. I think the Knicks are going to be really good, but I don't think they'll be good enough to really challenge Boston. I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk because I think Boston will struggle at some point, but I do think that you have to, of those options, you kind of have to default to Boston.
Yeah. Great stuff as always from Matt Moore. He's the NBA writer for the Action Network. You can follow him on Twitter at HP Basketball. Matt, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care.
The U.S. today, by the way, minus 26.5 against Bruno Caboclo. The Bruno Caboclo-led Brazilian team.
I know Steve Kerr said he was worried about Brazil and their
the Waxes,
physicality.
I believe, is their nickname.
I think they cover against Brazil. I'm not worried about Brazil. Germany could give them a run. And Serbia, next round, assuming they win, they got Jokic, but unless Bogdanovic is hitting 9 threes and a couple other guys are contributing like Jovic, they don't have a chance either.
We've already disposed of Serbia once.
Right.
They're not nearly good enough with just Jokic. Mid-South Ag Equipment, your home for the Case IH Farmall series of tractors, which is absolutely fantastic value, versatile performers, whatever it is you need to get done. They've got the right fit for you equipment-wise at Mid-South Ag Equipment with that Case IH Farmall series. Bush Hog Equipment, they've got that. They've got so much more, from new equipment to used equipment to service on your current equipment. They do it all at Mid-South Ag Equipment. Easy to find them just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. If you take I-269 to the Goodman Road exit, they're just a half mile west. You can actually see them from I-269. The actual address is 3044 Highway 302. You can find them online at midsouthag.com, where you can check out all the deals they've got going on, check out the inventory, everything else that you need to know about what they've got for you at Mid-South Ag Equipment. You can find it at midsouthag.com. They are the place to go for all your equipment needs. Mid-South Ag Equipment.
Schools are always looking at innovative ways to find new financial revenue streams, and naming rights to stadiums has been a big part of it. You'll be interested to hear what one college, what one university has done in selling their naming rights and what the name of the stadium will be. We'll tell you what it is when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
If you own a business, you know Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. Luttrell has cost-effective belts, conveyor components, and 24/7 on-site service to keep you operating smoothly. Text are just a phone call away at 800-441-8946 or online at LuttrellBelting.com. Luttrell's Memphis plant stocks belting in nearly every size and finish, and if they don't have it, they'll make it. From ordering to selection, fabrication, and installation, your Luttrell sales rep is there for you. Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. The best golfers in the world are coming to Memphis for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM will be broadcasting live at TPC Southwind throughout the day, Wednesday through Friday of tournament week, keeping you up to date with the latest tournament news and talking with the players and officials. Our coverage of TPC Southwind on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM is brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville, also sponsored by Town Village Audubon Park, Wilson's Power Wash, Raid Incorporated, the North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Jason's Deli.
It's rainy season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Ready for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Now Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Florida International, coached by Mike McIntyre, good friend of the show, expected to have a new name this fall for their football stadium. It was FIU Stadium, looking for a sponsor. They have apparently found that sponsor, an international recording artist, Pitbull. He's expected to pay the school $1.2 million per year for the next 5 years, as the stadium's name will change from FIU Stadium to Pitbull Stadium. And that's not a bad name when you think about it. Pitbull Stadium. Forget about the artist. Just think about the name, Pitbull.
The question is, do FIU have song? I guess the song credentials to play all his songs.
You mean like the copyright? Not
yeah,
copyright,
all the copyright stuff.
Well, they will, because Pitbull will make it happen. So it's probably going to be like Pitbull songs throughout the game, pregame, halftime, postgame.
I'm not sure exactly what's expected of Florida International this year, but I'm going to guess the party will stop at that stadium. I'm gonna guess the party is going to stop. I don't think it's going to be that wild there.
It's South Florida, beautiful weather, Pitbull's involved. No, I think the party's going on, man. I disagree.
They don't go to the party stops at Miami, let alone Florida International.
We got some better things to do in Miami than
they
go
will
to
be
a
serving,
Florida International.
I assume they will be serving plenty of Fireball, though.
Whatever he's hooked up with, whatever drink or whatever product is going to be very visible with that stadium.
Those are the only two songs I know of his, so I'm out of Pitbull jokes at this point.
I'm done with the. I don't know.
I don't know.
Others.
I don't know. Don't Stop the Party and Fireball are the only two that I know.
But Pitbull Stadium, Florida International, $1.2 million. Hey, whatever it takes within reason to find a naming rights for your stadium.
He has some of those collaborations, doesn't he? What are some of his collaborations?
Just imagine FIU is coming down. They got a game-winning drive. The offense is getting on the field, and all of a sudden you hear Pitbull's song, "Feel This Moment." You know,
I don't even know the song. Let's see. Some of his songs include "Give Me Everything." I know that one. Timber. When it's falling apart for Florida International, they play Timber.
That's Kesha. With Kesha.
Okay, you mentioned Fireball. Hotel Room Service. Rain Over Me, We Are One. Como Yo Le Doy. Hey Baby, Time of Our Lives. Dance Again, Don't
On
Stop
the
the Party.
floor. That's the Jennifer Lopez one. I was trying to think of the Jennifer Lopez one. On the floor.
Hey Ma, Go Girl.
I think he got a song with Flo Rida too.
I'm sure.
I feel like he's got a song with everybody.
He's got one with Neo, Afrojack, Kesha, as you said. Yeah. He's done all right for himself. Let's see. Pitbull net worth. Again, guesstimated by somebody out here. Let's see. $100 million. So he's not going to go bankrupt by giving up 1.2 each of the next 5 years. If you missed it, Serbia and Australia played a great quarterfinal round game, men's basketball at the Olympics. And who else but Nikola Jokic pulls Serbia out. They rally. What were they down at one point? At least 22? Maybe more?
I don't know what the biggest deficit was.
Patty Mills was going crazy, and then here comes Serbia with the great comeback. So they move into the semis. And again, the United States and Brazil later today. Serbia will be next up. So if the United States takes care of business against the Brazilians, they'll go up against Jokic and Serbia once again.
Pitbull's got a song with Trace Adkins and Luke Bryan.
Does he? He's into the country?
Where are the country girls at?
Where the country girls be?
Oh, that may not be released yet. That's apparently hasn't been released yet, maybe? I don't know. No, it is. Oh, that's crazy. I have no idea. Do they play their soccer games in that stadium? He's got a song called Goalie Goalie.
So Andy Staples tweets out after this news of Pitbull. He says, if Memphis isn't running on the Project Pat Field at the Liberty Bowl this fall, we've failed.
We got some bangers. I got some
Project
bangers in my
Pat
head.
Field at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
He's got a song called Booty.
Shocking.
Which might be a way that might be a way that people will describe Florida International's football team this year. That might be the most appropriate song he has.
Well, hopefully our friend Mike McIntyre doesn't get the booty.
I hope he does.
Why? Lose a job?
Oh, not get. I hope he gets the booty.
No. He's got a lovely wife. I'm talking about getting the boot. I'm talking about being canned with a bad year.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he doesn't get fired, but I hope
Get your mind out of the gutter.
I hope he gets the booty. Rooting for everybody out there.
And he got a hotel room service or whatever the song.
Right.
Yeah.
Genesis Diamonds.
Get your mind out of the gutter too.
I'm just listen. We're in South Miami.
Okay.
Poplar and Perkins Extended, that's where you'll find Genesis Diamonds. That's where you're going to find an amazing selection of jewelry, something for every budget out there. They'll take care of you at Genesis Diamonds. Amazing selection, amazing prices, amazing service. That's what you get every single time. If you haven't been to Genesis Diamonds, go check it out. Just go try it and have that Genesis experience. Again, the people there, not working on commission. They're there to help you, to educate you, to make you smarter when it comes to buying jewelry, whether you're buying there or elsewhere. You'll know what you're looking at, know what you're looking for when you go in there and check out whether you're looking for an engagement ring or any kind of piece of jewelry. You'll know exactly what you need to be looking for, what's going to affect pricing, and all of those things by the education you get from the great folks at Genesis Diamonds. Get Poplar and Perkins Extended. That's where you'll find them, Genesis Diamonds.
All right, that'll do it for us today on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Want to thank our guests, Brooks Monaghan, Mickey Barker, Whit Turnbow, and Matt Moore for joining us. Tomorrow, right now scheduled to join us, Dave Hooker, who covers the Tennessee Volunteers football team, and DeMichael Cole, who joins us each and every week to talk Grizzlies. We may have some added guests to our schedule tomorrow. We'll be on, of course, at 7 a.m., 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56, so we hope you'll join us then. Coming up next, it's Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. For Eli and Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.